Hello and welcome to the fourth and final installment of Sunbowl Saturday. They thought they could stop us. Corona thought it could put an end to the hopes of running a Sunbowl here in 2020, but here we are, awaiting the fourth and final game, Sunbowl 36 here in the men's division, between the defending champions, the Bayside Ravens, taking on the Gold Coast Stingrays. Look at the crowd still here. Kenny Andres joined with Justin Fernley. Welcome back here after commentating the Colts game with me. JF, you know these teams quite well. You know this is going to be one heck of a battle no matter what the regular season score suggests.
Yeah, very familiar with both teams. The Gold Coast having a lot more new guys on their roster this year than in previous years, but the Ravens certainly chock full of luminaries in the GQ neighbourhood. Yeah, look, previous history this season suggests the Ravens should win this and win this fairly comfortably, but the one thing about the Gold Coast Stingrays is that you can never, ever, ever write them off at playoff time, and especially the Sunbowl. Damien Malloy at quarterback for the Stingrays, always a threat.
And we'll get to more of them in a second. Looks like the teams are in the tunnel and ready to go. There's the officials on your screen. Brian Balsamo getting the call up here to White Hat, the men's game. Lights are going. The countdown is on. And here come the defending champions from the Bay via route of Karina Leagues Club. The Bayside Ravens heading to the far sideline. Head coach there from Darius Holiday Miller here at the Sunshine Coast Stadium. You can see number 3 there, Darius Holiday Miller, head coach player who thought the captain coach ideal was dead. It's well and truly alive here in Gridiron, Queensland. Pete Brewer, another example of that here for the defending champs. And now, the team that dominated so much of the last 20 years in this division, still dressed in Columbia blue and representing all the way south is the Tweed and as north as Durang. The Gold Coast Stingrays are ready to arrive. Led out by their own captain coach there in Damien Malloy, Lance Tongakilo in tow as well. Last time these two teams met, well, let's just say the context was a little different. In fact, you could say it was switched. One team was considered Goliath, the other David. In this case, the shoe was on the other foot. The Bayside Ravens, this time the defending champs and the regular season favourite, taking on the underdogs, the Gold Coast Stingrays, coming in with a dark horse tag for the first time in at least 10 years. That being said, this team has won almost every title shot they've been in for the last decade and a half. Back in 2017, these two teams met, led to an exciting game, finished in overtime with Damien Malloy hoisting that trophy there for the team he still represents today. And now, I think the Bayside Ravens, well, I think they've kept receipts.
Yeah, it pretty much sums it up, Ken. The Stingrays certainly with a bit of a hill, almost a mountain to climb to get over their last meeting when they went down by about a 40-point spread against the Ravens. The Ravens certainly having, as I said, just an absolute roster chock full of superstars. But needless to say, the Stingrays also have superstars that are on the roster. Lance Tongakilo, as we've mentioned, Damien Moore, quarterback. Riku Hataja from the Stingrays, been
still a crafty veteran.
A veteran for the Stingrays and very, very handy out there at wide receiver. Plenty of names in the Stingrays roster.
Let me take you through.
Jamal Sinapati. We're going to list them name by name.
Yeah, let me take. Well, not whether the rosters are this big anymore.
Yeah, they're pretty. Especially the Ravens, we could run out of time.
We talk about them as the game progresses, and would you look at this? Ravens sending out their 4 traditional captains: Holiday Miller, Jace Leon, Brudrick, Damien Brudrick, and Jared Stegman. And instead, in reply, the Gold Coast Stingrays only sending out 2 captains.
That is unusual.
And Jesse Sharp, and I've got to stop saying young Ryan Newton now. He's well and truly a grown man. Ryan Newton, I would imagine it's because the other 2 captains want to be in the huddle talking through their team.
Damo's not as fit as he used to be. Kenny might be trying to save himself for the game a bit more. Surprised that Lance isn't out there.
We'll hold as we go to midfield. Looks like the Ravens have won the toss. And elected to receive. Nope. And deferred. And they come in to shake hands. I do smile at that because I spoke to both these teams and they did, particularly the Ravens, talk about some of the coin flip etiquette, and I mentioned in the juniors how, you know, a lot of people, there's a lot of wording that can really derail what happens in the game there. You could be very specifically choose to defer your option.
Yep.
If you win the coin toss, because it can be a situation where the other team will get 2 possessions and receive the ball twice.
That's right.
If you suggest something else. So the mistake wasn't made here. The Ravens clearly opted to elect to make the decision in the second half, which means it's a faxo. The Stingrays have wisely decided to take the possession on offer.
Well, if you're just joining us for this game, we've had a little bit of rain at the end, towards the end of the women's game. Hence some water still sitting around on the field, but this field is very, very impressive with its drainage rate. We shouldn't see too much water lying around in the next few minutes. There's possibility of some more rain coming during this game, but hopefully we'll continue to have the same luck we've had thus far today with the weather.
And if you are just joining us for the first time, bear with me. It is my 4th game of the day, and I'm going to give you everything I've left in the tank, as these players will, to the final whistle of this final game of 2020 here in Gridiron Queensland. Kenny Andres, Justin Fanley, Liam Reeves. Sunbowl 2020 is underway, the 36th edition in the men's division. And this ball is bobbled off the kickoff and possibly recovered by Bergtown, but it is James Taylor coming to the rescue here for the Gold Coast.
Another one of those big names we mentioned. Add that to the list. James Taylor, been around a few years now.
James Taylor,
he does a very good job.
Almost wasn't a factor this year. He's actually located, or at least working in Tweed, which obviously when the border patrol came into effect, he wasn't allowed in. So he wasn't back in until about midway through the season when they allowed him for people to travel in between Queensland and Tweed Heads. And alas, he has been a welcome return once again in 2020. He will start at tailback, and Damien Malloy will be starting at quarterback. Not for the first time in his career. John Curry knocked up with an injury a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, probably not the field position the Stingrays would have been hoping for, but it gives them a bit more of a challenge to get this ball upfield and hopefully result in an opening touchdown.
Well, not only that from a geographical standpoint, but look where that ball is placed. That's probably one of the rougher spots on Sunshine Coast Stadium's field. And Malloy will take this on second down. They lost half a yard on that last play. James Taylor trusted again, stuffed at the line though. Coming in and standing him up is Jerry Agata, who's not quite as big as he once was. A tremendous off-season from his. Sees him coming back as almost half the man he once was.
I had a feeling he used to be a much larger gentleman.
He did. Just shows you what hard work over an off-season can do. So a big third down already for this Gold Coast offense. Malloy and Taylor in the backfield, spread formation. Napier, far side of your field. A pump and go for Malloy. Malloy tries his best to evade the rush, but cannot avoid Jack Capewell. And that is a big, big stand on the opening drive for the Bayside Ravens.
Looks like 0 gain on that series thus far. Maybe even lost a little bit, of maybe half a yard, Ken.
Last time these two teams met was only a week ago. They were supposed to have their initial matchup in week 5, but rain called that game off after one kickoff return, which was almost returned by the Ravens. And then in the final week of the season, the Ravens had a convincing 42-3 win over the Rays. So safe to say they're the comfortable favourites entering Sunbowl 36. As punt is from the back of the end zone. Torzok's got hard work to do. The flags are down. All things considered, Tommy Torzok gets a good punt away, but here comes Bones, a.k.a. Warwick Russell.
Yeah, that was a good result, that kick. I mean, I thought he was in all sorts of trouble. And
carefully, though, there's a flag and possibly in the realm of holding. And we could be seeing 2 points jump onto the scoreboard.
Is he a native left foot kicker?
I believe so.
Okay.
I just want to wait to hear the result here because it could be huge. Down and mark hasn't changed.
Defense number 18, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
It'll be a first down for the Stingrays again.
They'll use the opportunity to get a better punt off here from Tommy Torzok. Tommy Torzok.
4th down, so holding.
And not only is a lefty, he hails from Gardner-Webb University, has been with this Stingrays program for quite a few years here. And from what I understand, one of the most humble and hardworking guys on this roster. Kicker and punter, and this year at safety too. Another driving kick down the field, and a bit of backspin takes a Raven bounce, and they will field it just inside their own territory. But yeah, Tommy Torzok, adjuster no more. No longer is he just a punter and kicker. He has landed a starting spot at safety.
Okay.
Here in 2020, so
not a bad result from that kick. Probably would have liked to have got a bit over halfway, but probably a good idea to keep it out of the hands of Chris Clark and Bones Russell back there trying to sniff out a touchdown return.
Well, that penalty probably saved them about 18 yards there. Obviously, the initial return going just outside the 20. But for the first time, Jared Stegman, the fresh Sunbowl winner from a season ago, flanked by Darius Holiday-Miller, get this offense going. The number 1 offense in the league. Sees Darius Holiday-Miller with his first touch bouncing to the outside already. Cuts it inside his receiver's block, and he's got this ball to the 25.
That was easy soft yardage on that play. Coach Malloy won't be happy with the softness with those yards we've gained. Just looking at the replay there, linebacker not stepping up to fill that breach.
Ravens. Oh. There was a penalty amongst that. It looked like a face mask. A tack on an extra 15. Am I correct? Yes, I am. Face mask at the end of that run. And Lance Tongi-Kilo, a traditional defensive end, but with the way the chips have fallen, now starting at Mike Becker in this game. A huge hit to the outside, but unfortunately not on the ball carrier. Holiday-Miller bounces again and takes this inside the 5. No flags on that play, and the Ravens will have first and goal.
The Ravens currently gobbling up yards on the ground with consummate ease. I don't know if either of these teams, you mentioned that one of the games was called off due to rain previously in the year, but this is probably their only first wet game aside from that one. So neither team looking like they should have too much trouble with the dampness.
They can actually get the first score. Holiday-Miller to the right side.
They'll take the score.
Once again, a hit and a score. And Holiday-Miller looks like he's in for the first score of the day.
Yeah, pretty hard to hold Darius out from there. The Ravens aren't overly celebrating, so yeah, it's against them.
And there is a penalty against the Ravens, second down, and my lack of excitement on that touchdown is justified. Now we've got 2nd and 11. And Bessie now inside the left slot. Holiday Miller now this time lined up to the left. And Bessie's looking. Sorry, Stegman's looking for Warwick Russell, who got behind Jamal Sinapati. Flags come flying at
DPI.
the end of the play there, and Jamal Sinapati has hands on hips in disbelief.
So, just looking at the replay of that, looks like DPI on the Stingrays defender, not looking back for the ball and making contact with the receiver.
So this might be a gifted.
A bit of a soft call, really, and I don't think it made a whole lot of difference to the play.
Pass interference. Defense number 13. Foul occurred in the end zone. Ball will be placed on the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Hit for that little effort there from Jamal.
Calling 101, further. We've got to get you to stop talking over the referee.
Oh. He's the only voice I can't hear in my headphones.
This is true. 1st and goal. And I think that is Lagerstrom. He tried to time the snap there unsuccessfully, but we've been wrong before. A false start was called earlier in the women's game when we thought it was a clear offside.
I think they're calling that one a D offside. Defense offside on that one.
Just gives him a fresh set.
Before the snap. Offside. Defense number 23. Half the distance to the goal. Remains 2nd down. Correction. Remains 1st down.
The Ravens wanting to move really quickly. They almost didn't want to hear the call there. First and goal from the 1. Holiday Miller.
There's a touchdown.
Do it with ease, and this one stands. First score of the day going to the men in purple.
Looks like we no longer have a working clock, Ken, is that right? Or?
I think there might have been some electrical issues, possibly when they gave us the light entrance there from Sunny Coast Stadium, so we do have our officials in the booth to our right who are operating the live stream clock, I believe, in cahoots with our on-field officials, so our stream clock should be relatively correct as they work to get the on-field clock.
So it's only taken the...
Bad snap. Warwick Russell will have to improvise. Looks to throw, and they've done this 2 years in a row when the play should have been shot to death. They've found a way to roll out and add a 2-point conversion. Holiday Miller did it last year. This time Warwick Russell adds his flavour to the play.
Yep.
Bessie on the other side of it.
The wide receiver just flaring out there as a bit of a safety outlet, and it works every time. Nice pass from Warwick. Good work from the Stingrays to get pressure on there, but just didn't quite get there in time. The Ravens up 8-0. First possession, score.
How about that? Another crazy conversion. Starting to become folklore in Birdtown. There's a replay you just saw on the screen.
Bessie the holder on that play. Good heads up work.
They'll try to tell me that was planned next year when I do it.
Yeah. All part of the Ravens' plan.
Another thing that seems to be pretty Raven-esque is the sprinter stance here on kickoff. Back deep to return. I think is the number 85. And
another nice kick from the Ravens. That one will be left to go dead. So a restart at the 25-yard line, I believe.
For those who might have been watched Stingrays seniors games of 2019, number 85, not Jaden Paludan. He's since being accepted. Congratulations to Jaden Paludan into a college over in the States. I believe a name escapes me right now, but I think it's a Div 2 or Div 3 college over there. He's
20-yard line.
Avoid playing due to trying to stop his eligibility clock, as a lot of recruits have to deal with, and wearing the 85 jersey is new player Blair Rubok, starting wide receiver. 3-by-1 set here. Napier isolated down the bottom of your screen, and the Ravens D-line right now still yet to surrender a whole lot of yards on the ground.
Jerry Fagata on that play again.
Check.
Wasn't Jerry in like the 120, 130 kilogram club last year?
Well and truly nose tackle build, and now looks like a middle linebacker. Just goes to show, kids, for those who might be looking to cheer him up a little bit, what a good preseason can do.
James Taylor taking a play off. Hopefully it is just one play. Having a rest.
And coming in is Jim McDonald, another one of the potential returners in this lineup, and RB2 here for the Gold Coast Stingrays. You've got a trips bunch set up over to the far side of the screen. And they will keep this to Malloy, who's got plenty of space. Will patiently wait for his blocks to develop, lower the shoulder, and get this ball past the 30.
Having a bit of trouble finding his feet in that moist ground out there by the looks of it. Certainly not quite as choppy in his steps that he normally would be. Coming out of them with the sort of speed we expect from Damo. Hopefully the ground will dry out a bit, and that'll be to the benefit of both teams.
And they're moving pretty quickly. Two receivers either side this time. And this time they will give to Jim McDonald. Ball on the inside arm, and meets the big shoulder tackle there from the Rover and Chris Clark. 2019's defensive MVP. Showing up for the first time here on this broadcast.
Was it always a plan for Chris to stay here as long as he had, or is he?
Well, no, he was signed by a German European team, I believe, and unfortunately, COVID obviously
put an end to that.
Took that away from him.
The Ravens' benefit and GQ's benefit. It's good to see athletes like that running around out there.
Exactly right. I think the same actually is to be said by head coach and starting running back Darius Holiday-Miller.
Yes.
Second down, double sticks. Malloy fakes, passed over the middle, and that was almost intercepted. Unable to bring that in is Tom Hodkinson, the former Toowoomba native, still lives in Toowoomba, commutes back and forth to training. A long 2-hour drive. Some of you know a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of travel there. Good to see he's made that commitment and has kept up with it through the season and getting his reward now on Sunbowl Day. Would have been nice to grab that one. Would have been interesting to see how far he got to the end zone with it.
Pretty brutal starting at Mike Backer. Wasn't always the case this season. Was supposed to just be a coach, but things happen. Jason Leon getting a hold of Malloy. How many times has Malloy managed to escape the grasp of Jason Leon in his career? Unfortunately for Jace that time, his D-line homeboys coming in and helping him out.
Probably getting a little bit more context so far in this game than Damien would have really wanted to be getting this far into the game, but hopefully he stays healthy for the duration.
It was a rough end to the season for him. I think he had a big gash on his foot, if I'm remembering last season, which was his first official announcement of retirement. Obviously, every good player goes through a couple of those.
Yeah, so well, the Stingrays are in all sorts of trouble.
And that is Rubok down in the tall rock punt.
At the start of the season, getting their numbers up, and all for various reasons. Obviously, COVID having an influence there, but yeah, just numbers were very much down on what they used to be. So there was some talk about them not taking part in the comp this year, but they managed to get their numbers together and made the decision to progress. And here they are now in the Sunbowl. It's just as good a chance as anyone else to get the win today.
It reminds me of I think it was one of the Toowoomba Chargers teams that took the title back in the day under Coach Wilson. Kev Wilson, who was supposed to be going through a rebuilding year, and next minute they rock up into the Gridiron Queensland Sunbowl. So it's amazing how things fall out sometimes when you just get a side together. And Stegman will take his first design carry of the day and meets a solid shoulder there, belonging to a one Lance Tonga kilo.
Lance would have enjoyed that. Welcome to the Stingrays defense, Jared.
I think both of those guys came into the league around the same time, 2009. Lance might have been 2008, in fact. If memory serves correctly, coming into the junior squad around then. Was the best player from the day he stepped in. Stegman's first year in 2009 for the Logan Bears, or the Browns Plains Bears as they were known back then.
I think Jared was in 2008,
Was he?
but he did his knee, might have been in 2008 was the first time he did his
was that
knee.
2008 in juniors, I believe, under a Farrar Junior Bears team. And a throw downfield, ultimately to no one.
A potential roughing the passer.
And the defensive backs are trying to figure out whose man was who. And you're right, flags down in the vicinity of
Matthew Ole coming over to let the Stingrays defender know that it wasn't appreciated. Taking over chat. Okay, so thus far in the game, the Ravens still seeing very much on top. Second down coming up, 2 yards to go after that run from Jared Stegman.
Looks like I am back after a quick battery change that I didn't see, but
And we do have a roughing the passer penalty. So it'll be 15 yards and a first down. Probably if you're going to give one of those away, this is the time to do it when the game's in its early stages and you want to try to unsettle Jared a little bit. It's probably not going to have the desired effect, but if you're going to do it, now's the time.
he's having a career year here in 2020. And we'll get to that in a second. Back to Holiday and Miller they go, and he churns out an easy 3 yards and then makes it a tough 5 yards. But yes, Jared Stegman, you know, obviously it's hard to cap a Sunbowl winning year from 2019, but his completion rate's been out of this world. Don't have official stats, but if you just speaking to his wide receivers throughout the season, and he's not missed a whole lot of passes. Very few of his passes have hit the turf here this season.
Of GQ's favourite sons, Reese Perkins isn't available today. Work commitments. It's a disappointing result to see Reese out there.
If nothing else, for the chat he brings some competition.
Yeah, he's always a competitor.
Geez, Holiday Miller on that right-hand side of the line are having a great night tonight. Holiday Miller lowers the shoulder. JF and the Qld Sunbowl you talked about finishing runs.
Out.
Exhibit A.
And here comes the rain.
Well, the Bayside Ravens wanted to start the game early. Of course, there has been the kickoff times have changed all the way throughout today, and the Bayside Ravens wanted to kick this game off as early as possible, and I have a feeling it's because they wanted to make sure a game got played.
Yep. Yeah, well, certainly with the rain that they'd predicted, that was probably a good call, but at the moment, rain looks like all we're going to get, so hopefully there won't be any stoppages forthcoming. But yeah, Darius just chewing up yards on that right-hand side at the moment. Straight off tackle, Morton. There it is again.
There it is again. It's like shelling peas right now. Holiday Miller shaking and baking and getting taken out inside the 5. Flags down at the end of the run. We'll see what's going on there. I suppose another face mask was grabbed.
But they're pulling the right guard to take out the defensive end who's being left untouched and not responding appropriately and just opening up a massive hole on that right edge.
Talking about
Defensive end needs to pinch in, read that he's being left alone, expect the trap, pinch in, destroy that pulling lineman.
Illegal block in the back. Number 51 offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Matty O'Leary got too excited there. Couldn't see any eyeballs when he made the hit.
Was that a push in the back, was it?
Legal block in the back. So first down and 9. One of those awkward, or perhaps 8 according to our screen. One of those awkward situations. Jared Stegman checking off now, making adjustments at the line. Moves Holiday Miller to his right. Receivers stay unchanged. He'll give to Holiday Miller. This time he'll take a sojourn up the middle of the field.
He's just got so much time in that backfield to think about what he's going to do. There's no penetration at all from the Stingrays D lineman.
Well, you think about last year against the Rhinos, had a fantastic game, of course, you know, very close to MVP, but the way some of the runs he had to make, I remember one specific run, he had to spin literally as he got the ball.
Yep.
Right now, he's being able to save all his moves till after he crosses the line of scrimmage.
After the line of scrimmage, yeah.
The O-line from the Ravens doing a wonderful job right now, and I'll go through some of their names in a second. Bessie in the left slot, work Russell outside him. They're going to run speed option. No, it's shovel pass up the middle.
He's going to go
And
very
he's going to
close.
get awfully close, getting stopped inside the 1.
Mitchell Bessie, I believe.
That is Robbie Corker coming
Robbie
over from
Corker.
the Griffith Uni Thunder from a season or 2 ago.
Okay.
Was an outstanding tight end for Tommy Corwin, who was at one point going to call the game tonight, but got stuck with baby duties.
Oh, tight end shovel pass. Nice play.
Love it, especially in these conditions. That's usually a fumble waiting to happen. But
Well, you know, it's a fairly safe play in the wet conditions. If they drop it, it's just an incomplete pass. So,
especially when you got hands as big as Robbie's.
yeah, no good result.
Bessie in motion. They'll pop it to him, a la Tyreek Hill style. And he will
And that's a touchdown.
easily work his way inside the left pylon. Back-to-back scores here for Birdtown. Holiday Miller 1, Bessie 2.
Yeah, it's all just a little bit too easy for the Ravens at the moment. The Stingrays really need to try to get something happening on that defensive front line, get a bit of penetration into the Ravens' backfield to slow down this running game, because obviously in these conditions it's tailor-made for running the ball, so that's got to be their first priority, and try to get the ball in the air from Jared and hopefully get some picks from some wayward passes with the moisture in the ball. Until they can stop this run game, it's going to be very difficult to do.
Let's see what shenanigans can possibly arise from this PAT attempt. Good snap, good hold, but blocked, and caught on the full. That's Dylan Napier.
It's a race.
Napier down the right-hand sideline, cuts it back, and will eventually pitches it up and out of bounds. Wouldn't be the first time we've seen some crazy laterals today. That flag will be for well, I guess it's going to be maybe an intentional forward pass, but apparently it also could be a late hit.
It'd be an unusual call to call on the forward pass, but
Illegal forward pass. Number 54 of the defense. That penalty is declined by rule. Try is unsuccessful.
I nailed it.
I don't know what the call was there.
Illegal, all right? Illegal.
Yeah, there's a late hit on the back of Adam Thompson, number 92.
Oh, okay.
So late hit on the play then, apparently. Or no? So they're going to assess this penalty on the kickoff. Oh, Brian Callaway.
Added 10 yards to, no, 30, it's on the 30.
They declined.
Oh, they declined.
Oh, they declined it.
Fair enough. Ryan Callaway, one of the junior Australian coaches, tuning in from Victoria. Hope you guys are enjoying your newfound freedom down there, Coach. I know it's been a very tough time for the folk down south. Glad to see you tuning in. Mitch Bessie with his big right boot sends this down and will fall inside the 10. That Rubok with the return, spins, turns, and finds his way out to the Stingray 33.
Well, that's a much better result for the Stingrays kick return team, giving the offense the ball. That would be a pretty good field position to start this drive.
And coming towards the back end
And
of
also,
the first quarter.
also out of the slop. You can see how much that field in the middle has dried out. Still some wet patches on the either end of the field, but yeah, the middle's a lot drier, so hopefully the Stingrays can get this ball moving. Stingray, the Ravens' defensive front, proving very difficult to crack.
14-0. The score here towards the back end of the first. Malloy has nowhere to go and is trampled down by the inconvenience of Ravens.
Yeah, I'm not sure the pitch option's the way to go against this Ravens defense that is putting so much pressure in the backfield.
Personal foul. Defense, number 92, face mask. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Plethora of penalties against the Ravens.
That will undo the hard work there and give the Stingrays a bit of a get-out-of-jail-free card. Seeing some of the people tuning in. Reese Perkins, obviously stuck out at work, is still tuning into the stream. Ravens old boy Troy Wax tuning in. And Sean Hunter.
The Mad
The
Dog.
Mad Dog, no spaces, always shooting into the big games with GQ. First down run there, again, stuffed around the line.
Yeah, not much joy for the Stingrays O-line at the moment. They're not making any holes at all for the running backs to sniff a few yards out of.
And here's something I'm still yet to discuss. Late changes at training, an injury to the offensive guard, James Veal, I believe, meant they had to kick their usual centre out to right guard, and look who's starting at centre today. In his first career start at centre, Lance Tomakilo. Here goes James Taylor. So if you're wondering why there might be some protection issues up front, Lance is a very talented player, but anyone in their first start in a Sunbowl starting at centre are certainly going to have their hands full, especially if they're playing Mike Backer on the other side of the field.
It's a big ask. I mean, a lot of people forget that, yeah, they're a centre, but they've got to snap the ball, they've got to be aware of the count, they've got to get all that right before they even start thinking about what they're actually going to do when it comes to blocking someone.
And that will be the end of one. And the Ravens, they have a 14-0 lead over the Stingrays. And a fun fact, I believe this will be the first time well, obviously the first time they scored it was the case, but this will be the first time the Ravens have led the Stingrays in the men's division in a Sunbowl.
Well, the game pretty much going to what the Ravens would have scripted so far. The Stingrays probably would have thought they'd be getting a little bit more yardage and penetration than what they've been getting. But certainly the Ravens on top at the moment, and the Stingrays looking to try to get something going.
Third down and 10.
Ravens showing blitz.
They'll only send 4 though. Malloy steps up with the pocket, will try to trust his legs. And he can't get enough to convert here. They are past midfield and you are trailing by 14. But it does look like there is a big unit change happening.
Ravens veteran Jason Leon getting up a little bit unsteadily after that. I think he got a bit of friendly fire from Peter Brewer on that one.
A little bit of surprise. Speaking about Ravens veterans, Jason Leon along with Calvin Young, who we haven't addressed yet, the return to football of Calvin Young.
I heard that news during the week.
And Gerard Fitzpatrick, who is on the Ravens coaching staff, are the only 3 Ravens who exist from the Ravens' first ever men's Sunbowl appearance back in 2010 against the Daisy Hill Wildcats. Only 3 remain as that kick is almost blocked.
Cool.
And that is muffed there by Chris Clark, but he quickly fixes his error, hurdles the defender, and gets taken down, and we've got a big scuffle happening around the middle of the field. The benches are now starting to clear. Jamal Sinapati's in there.
All sorts of nonsense happening at the line of scrimmage.
And some dramas going all across. Surprisingly, there's only 1 flag in the field. I thought we would see a flag thrown after that, but 1 seems to be adequate.
Doesn't look like we've got an angle on that one at the moment just yet. This should show what's going on. So we might have had a bit of a sloppy arm grab on the punter.
Well, there was just some extracurricular activity happening back at midfield, and the punt was down around the 20.
They see it the way I did. Could be trouble for the Ravens. Could be a bit of extra yardage for the Stingrays with the first down. Have a look, and there it is. No, cuts away. Uncharacteristic drop there from Chris Clark. Once again.
Nice and moist out there this evening, even if the rain has temporarily receded.
Damian Malloy down there to make the hit.
Seeing a couple of Sunbowl alums now, Dan Raybold's now watching the stream.
Something's happened as a result of that incident at the line of scrimmage. Looks like the Ravens defense is back on. Their punt return team.
The football is in the...
Still 4th down. I think there might have been offsetting penalties on that. So they'll replay the down. Well, I'm sure Chris Clark will enjoy the opportunity to get a clean catch and make a bit better return on this one.
Let's see if they go the other way.
Maybe his compatriot, Bones Russell.
Just saw Tommy Torzo warming up the arm a little bit. Is that a hint at something? No. He will put it on the left boot. Sits high and bounces in front of Chris Clark, and he'll let this bounce into the end zone. for a touchback. And Torzok, I saw him on the ground again. I didn't see if anyone knocked him over, but he's immediately remonstrated with a nearby referee. Quickly lets go of his debate, and it looks like it'll just be Birdtown ball from the 20.
Looks like that Richard Prater's out there again after doing the Colts. Might not be Richard.
Well, it very well could be. Shout out to the officials. Mark Lou was having a chat to me earlier in the week, or maybe even 2 weeks ago now, saying that a lot of their resources have been stretched thin over the 2020, as you can imagine, and especially on Sunbowl Day, where they usually bring in officials from around the state to help out and make sure that we've got full squads and everyone's rotated and fresh for each game. Big shift put in from them tonight and today. Stingrays with 4 on the line. They'll only send those 4. Holiday Miller runs into Lagerstrom, it looks like.
The right-hand side of the Stingrays defence holding up a lot better than the left-hand side has thus far. Putting still effectively picked up, just over 5 yards on that run. Yeah, look, big raps to all the teams that have taken part in this season and the GQ administration under what was obviously been very trying circumstances for everyone.
14-0 and currently in possession. Stegman back with his quartet of wide receivers. He's got one-on-one coverage on the outside. Napier's trying to make up the space. What a grab by Bones! And Napier will take him down past the 40. He is not a big man, but he has got a big heart.
And he makes the big plays. And that's a big play. Great catch by Warwick. Just absolute 100% focus on the ball. Didn't care, didn't worry about what the DB was doing. The DB was right there. He's probably overrun a little bit, but Warwick just focused 100% on the ball and making that catch, which he does with regular monotony.
He's matched up with one of the best there. That is Jamal Sinabati. He's going toe-to-toe to there.
Yeah, gives away height.
Plenty of height,
speed,
plenty of weight. First down following that Warwick Russell catch. Darius Holiday Miller still not touched to 8 yards into his run and eventually wrestled over the sideline, but not before acquiring a first down. Scotty Anthony D from Victoria, I would assume Gridiron Victoria, tuning in and opening that TV.
Darius having a bit of a look up then and seeing Lance Dungakillo coming at him. He went the duck and cover.
It happens.
Pretty sure we'll be seeing a 100-yard game from Darius today if he continues to stay out there. Peter Chang waiting in the wings at backup running back for the Ravens, the veteran.
If you need me, former Moreton Bay Raptor.
Yep. And Spartan.
And Spartan. First down now. In motion goes Warwick Russell. He gets the pitch here. Looking for space around the outside. He sees Hatchman approaching him, and Hatchman catches him and throws him over the sideline.
It's like 5-yard gain on that play.
Like Hatchman on
little end around.
The stop, and he's made his move from the outside to the inside. I think he's playing at linebacker nowadays, an outside linebacker, and Lance said that's really forced him to, and I quote, bring the dog out this year, and has been really impressed with his development, particularly physically, over season 2020. Second down, 4 yards needed to progress.
Damien Malloy playing both ways. Looks like he's at middle linebacker.
Empty set. Holiday Miller now on the right slot. Bessie outside him. He goes in motion, and he'll get the pitch, and Stegman's just racking up the pass yards with these little Mahomes-esque pop passes, and flags will come flying in on the back end of that run as this field looks to be drying quite nicely.
Yeah, the middle of the field, it's just amazing considering the puddles that were out there.
And those little pop passes become a staple in college football and now in the NFL, and it's just a safe
holding. 17 offense, 10-yard penalty.
Ball outside, nice.
Repeat second down.
Lateral runs, but more importantly, it stops some of these fumble issues because it's technically a pass.
Yes, forward pass. Yeah, the Stingrays defensive ends having all sorts of trouble containing that outside at the moment. The Ravens tight ends and offensive tackles doing a good job to keep them on the inside.
Liam Edwards, he'll make an appearance now in the right slot. Empty set again. Holiday Miller out to the left. Holiday Miller again in motion. They'll fake it to him this time. Stegman puts his body on the line to the middle of the line of scrimmage. Picks up a couple of those lost yards back. And if you're wanting views from the commentary booth, I'm trying to get the handle of Liam Reeves out here, who's documenting everything on his story. Hint, hint. Instagram handle?
Oh, it's probably not safe for air, but I can do it. It's at Captain Caucasian.
Third down ahead of us here. 3 receivers to the right, plus the tight end. It looks like no. Holiday Miller's in the backfield. And they'll give a delayed handoff to Holiday Miller. The Stingrays aren't having any of it. And they shut down that draw very quickly behind the line of scrimmage. That is MK Rapana making a big play.
The big play. Yeah, well, that's certainly what they needed. I mean, brings up a 4th down, big loss on 3rd down, big confidence builder. The Ravens would have been feeling pretty confident of scoring again on this drive. So if the Stingrays can hold them here, that'll certainly do a lot to improve their confidence and hopefully spur their offensive side of the ball to get some stuff done.
So, on 4th down now, a chance for the Stingrays to stop the Ravens. The Ravens have scored in their lone 2 possessions of this first half. Originally through a touchdown to Holiday Miller and then a pass to Mitch Bessie.
The Ravens, not surprisingly, going for it.
Over the middle, Liam Edwards is open. Liam Edwards got it and cops a shot right in the chops, but he keeps that ball in his grasp.
Dylan Napier with a nice little pop at the end.
Woo.
Good catch from Liam. Nice pass from Jared, finding him on the numbers and on his stride.
That's not the first time Liam Edwards has had to make a catch over the middle against a Stingray team in the
probably not what Liam was hoping for after catching that ball. He looked up and went, uh-oh.
Napier playing.
He's a pretty strong unit, like his dear old dad.
And Napier, a very strong unit, like his dear old mum. Oh, probably shouldn't say old. My apologies, Tammy. His dear mother. 1st down and goal.
Looks like it's going to be a snap. Hang on.
What about delay game?
Where's Stegman? We're looking for a snap straight to Darius on this play.
Oh, maybe they can.
Jared not on the field. We got a flag.
Illegal substitution. Offense, 12 on the field. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
Confusion with this package, which we've seen before. They used it at the goal line against the Rhinos last year. It actually led to that miraculous 2-point conversion. Holiday Miller to Chris Clark a season ago. Less than 12 months, in fact.
The Wild Raven package.
Wild Bird, as I also coined it, as Steve Box used to call these types of packages for the Ravens. Holiday Miller passes and nice
it's picked
off. Holiday Miller tries to catch lightning in a bottle twice.
Napier with the big play again.
Dylan Napier first with a big hit to save the touchdown, and now picking off Holiday Miller. Well, to be fair, that play was designed to be run from 2 yards out, not 6.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised Darius didn't see Dylan. He's a pretty big target, but yeah, good work. Dylan's obviously decided that no one's going to score on his watch today, so he's doing his best to deny the Ravens any opportunity.
It is interesting. I think I just noticed Holiday Miller with his glove off. And back when we played in juniors together, when we had a halfback pass lined up, he used to take off the throwing glove. A bit of a tip off there. I probably should have clued on to Malloy,
perhaps Dylan did.
Down the left-hand side, there's Rubok! Rubok being Bose! Rubok going all the way! And the Stingrays get on the board here in the middle of the second.
No flags. Josh Bose giving up the play.
Yes, the young Colt to senior now getting consoled from his teammate Jack Capewell. Had decent coverage, don't think he expected that ball to travel as far as it did, and Rubok, he was ready.
Yeah, Damo's still got the gun, he gets it out there when he needs to. So it looks like that big play from the Stingrays D has turned the fortunes of the Stingrays somewhat. Nice answer from Damian Malloy and his offensive Stingray formation. So where'd that start from? About the 30?
It would seem. I think the pass happened from Yeah, well, if the line of scrimmage was looking where the lollipops were at the 21.
About a 45, 25, 70-yard play almost.
They'll go for the PAT. It's blocked up the middle. They had issues with that against the Rhinos back in week 8. Ravens, they capitalized on some similar struggles. So the score remains 14-6.
That's two kick PATs ending in a blocked kick.
You're exactly right.
That's the thing. That's what Damon will do to a team. You know, he's still capable of airing those balls out there and just, you know, everything's going your way, and then bingo, Damo throws one up there, latches under his receiver, and you got 6 points against you. It just always seems to happen out of nowhere.
After back-to-back punts, the Stingrays find a response. Rubok with a close to 60-yard touchdown on the left-hand side of the field.
Be interesting to see what they do with that. I mean, obviously that's a matchup they want to exploit. But the Ravens continue to have that matchup.
Well, the Ravens proudly boast that they've pretty much only had to do with one kickoff a game, if you can understand what that means. This will be one of 2, and will they do a little bit of their kickoff switch? No, they'll return it quite traditionally. Warwick Russell looking for space, and now finding some space before the interior of the line, or the swarming kick team taken down eventually.
Matt
Awani, who I think, if memory serves correctly, is a name we haven't quite covered yet. Matt Awani, starting left tackle for the Gold Coast Stingrays, taking over Hitz Williams, who's been a long time start on that left side of the line. Except Matt Awani, take a look at the size of him before I say this, 17 years old.
Wow.
Came from the junior program, decided to forego his entire Colts experience to step up and take a starting spot in the men's. Already attracting attention from overseas. Had a pre-season working with Gridiron Australian O-line coach in Adam Bolton, and is impressed so far. Speaking about impressive, Darius Holiday-Miller just churning out yards with ease as this game continues. The motor's still ticking right.
Yeah, it's not a good sign for the Stingrays that we're into the second quarter and they're still having trouble containing, not just containing, but having trouble stopping him from making lots of yardage pretty much every time he runs the ball.
I'm seeing a lot of the old Ravens old boys just to the left side of our commentary box here. Possibly some of the McCartys coming in. Matthew Bailey here as well.
Stingrays getting the stop on that play, proving me wrong, which is a good sign for the Stingrays faithful. Darius certainly having a huge game thus far, and his offensive line doing a very, very good job of opening up holes for him on what is now both sides of the ball. Very much exploiting the right-hand side earlier in the game, but making yards on the left and right-hand side at this point. Ravens receivers not seeing much so far.
2nd down and 9, just under 5 minutes to go here in half number 1. Stegman will keep that ball there and probably go back to the line of scrimmage at best.
I'm a little surprised that the Ravens are keeping the ball on the ground so much. I mean, the scoreboard suggests that that's probably the sensible thing to do, but I'm just surprised they're not airing it out a little bit more, given Jared's abilities and the receiving call that he's got.
Here's the interesting thing though. Their play caller, Darius Holiday-Miller, and despite obviously Jared being the quarterback, if Holiday-Miller's in the huddle, he's the one calling the plays.
Yeah.
3rd down and 10. Stegman to air it out, looking for a curl route, almost picked off from Jamal Sinapati, almost getting one back there on Warwick Russell. I thought he had eyes down the other side of the field.
A little bit of contact on Russell on before that catch. Hard to see on that replay. I think Jamal got a little bit of a surprise that it was there for him so easily. and forgot about catching the ball.
He was a takeaway machine in his rookie season with the Bayside Ravens all those years ago. Pretty sure he got 5 picks in his rookie season and almost returned a bunch of them for 6-pointers. Mitchell Bessie rolling out now, looking to take it and he convert. He's got some work to do and he won't quite get it.
Nice result from the Stingrays D on that.
The stop made there from Qld Sunbowl, one of the...
Sure, if Mitchell had to, it was almost by design.
Well, from my understanding of their special teams unit, they have... It is a auto rollout. It is intended to punt, but it gives you the option to run if you see fit.
Yep.
That was Qld Sunbowl on the stop, one of the Colts senior converts. Obviously a stud in the Colts division for the years he was there, and obviously had an amazing junior Sun Devil appearance as well.
And the Ravens have to be careful here. I mean, they've gone into this game very, very confident of getting a win, and probably in some of their minds an easy win. But second quarter, they've only got an 8-point lead against the Stingrays team that is capable of putting points on the board, and they really need to focus on the fact that they've only got an 8-point lead. In situations like that, they should just be playing nice basic elemental football, and that means punting the ball and getting it downfield and not giving the Stingrays any more than they need to. Mitchell a little bit optimistic with that rollout and getting the first down.
And there is standing in jersey number 70. There's a Raven coming home, Joel Maddock, who has been in JUCO programs, got selected after playing for the Ravens, got noticed from some tape and some down under bowl footage, got picked up from Arizona Western. Get back to that in a second as Malloy decides to keep it. Picks up a nice block, reverses course. Now the pursuing defenders come and shut him down, but not before he converts this drive, and they've got a fresh set, do the Gold Coast Stingrays.
Nice run from Damo there, broken play. I think some of the time he, even before the snap of the ball, decides he's going to go for a run, but he really took advantage of the fact that the Ravens defense have overcommitted a bit. I just hope that he can do that for the remainder of the game to keep the Stingrays competitive.
Speaking of the devil, Maddock making the tackle there. Yes, he was picked up from Arizona Western, which was the same junior college as the one Jesse Williams, and went through his time there and eventually found his way onto some European teams where he went that circuit for a couple of years before returning this year. Was actually, from my understanding, supposed to be heading to the CFL before.
Yes, I heard that myself.
And by the C-bomb, I, of course, mean Corona, dropped earlier this season. First down and 10. Malloy looking over the middle, looking for Rubock again!
And it's open.
He's open! Everyone's confused, including myself, who still got his arms in the air. Rubock strikes twice in the second quarter.
Ravens appealing for a bit of a push-off, but I don't think it was there. I think it was just a bit of incidental contact.
I think that's completely fine if you're asking me as well.
That's what he's asking for, that little shove in the back, but it was just incidental. Players running into each other. The Ravens defender putting himself into that position.
And here we go.
Nice work from Malloy, and he's done it again. He's just, you just can't write him off. And the Ravens really need to get back to focusing on just playing smart, hard football and ramming it down the Stingrays' throats.
And what's that? Is that a red hanky?
If they're going to get the win.
20? Spoiler alert, it is. And it looks like the Ravens want to have some input on this decision.
I'm really fascinated to know what they could possibly be talking about. Looks like they're talking about that contact.
I'm trying to just go through all the reviewable fouls, all the challengeable fouls. I'm trying to figure out, firstly, if they can challenge it, because I know if it's called a PI, if it results in 15 yards or more, it is eligible to be challenged. And I can hear John Rowe screaming at his TV screen now. He hates the idea of challenges in our league, but
I'm not seeing anything that's disputable. I think it's a fair play. Good work from the receiver.
Questioning the legality of even being able to challenge that play at all. But here we go, down to midfield.
The video referee currently reviewing the play. Looks like we've got a decision.
Upon further review, the play stands. Touchdown.
Play stands, so that means the Ravens are out of challenges and lose a timeout here in this first half.
We've got a 14-12 scoreline with the PAT to come. If they're smart here, they'll go for the 2. Not because they can't kick, but the holder will be trying to get this ball right in a puddle of mud.
Well, surely they'll be going for the 2 here. And that they are. I feel like James Taylor's still on the sidelines.
They're going for the 2.
Trying to tie this football game up. A jump pass and hits the post. But no upright challenge here will get you any points. It will be incomplete. 14-12 now the score. The Ravens still with a 2-point lead to defend here with 2.5 minutes remaining in half number 1. The Ravens will have an opportunity to try and extend this narrow lead and, quite frankly, regather a bit of composure here after a couple of back-to-back drives resulting in long touchdowns for the Gold Coast.
The Ravens having a long history in the game. They first came together back in 2000, I believe, thereabouts.
Bayside Ravens?
Yep.
Indeed. You'll see a lot of black shirts with X's on them in the crowd, which is the 20-year shirt that was made up by the Bayside Ravens management.
The Ravens sort of coming from the ashes of the Bayside Razorbacks.
Indeed.
One of the first teams in 1986 when the league decided to play in gear after one season of not wearing gear.
Fielding at the 1, we'll continue with a history lesson just on the backside of this kick return. That is stopped around the 36-yard line there. Another big tackle there from Matt Awani, his hustle is very evident this evening. He is impressing his coaches right now.
The Ravens win in the Sun Bowl last year was enjoyed not just by the current Ravens fans, but going back in that history of 1986 to 2019. There's a lot of history there on the Bayside with the Razorbacks, so a lot of the old Razorback boys were very, very happy about that win, and it's good to see the Ravens back again this year.
Indeed. First down and 10. We'll continue with more of that history in a second. It is the 20-year anniversary of the Bayside Ravens. Warwick Russell still holding on to the ball, I think.
Yep, you got that.
Oh.
Good concentration. That's what I was talking about before with Warwick. He's just really, really good at focusing on catching that ball.
Let's not forget, he is effectively the home crowd hero right now, hailing from the Sunshine Coast. Can't bring that one down.
That'll be called incomplete.
Original Sunshine Coast Spartan in his junior days.
Yes, played a season with Warwick. 2 seasons with Warwick.
Started the Gold, progresses to, his first 2 years in seniors would have been when you were there.
Yep.
Found his way to state, and the rest is history.
He ended up with the Ravens, I think, purely because the Spartans ceased to be, or the men's team ceased to be, so he
him and Bradley Ebden were looking for
other pastures. And
that is the amazing thing about it. If the Spartans men's side could get up and going, I have very few doubts that those 2 boys would proudly return home. Being here, the Sunshine Coast.
I am sure that is what the Spartans hope for as well. I guess time will tell. I was speaking to Brendan from the Spartans before, and he's quite confident that their participation this year has been a good springboard to make things happen next year.
It's been interesting not to speak to him this week, as alluded to an earlier broadcast. His junior and Colts teams have been a stalwart over the last 5 or so years in Gridiron Queensland. It was weird not to speak to him this week with no Spartans teams making the big dance. Warwick Russell, the hometown hero, scoring down the left-hand side.
Flag on the play. The Ravens lineman, hands on hips, not looking confident. They've obviously heard something from the officials. Interesting that Stegman's now decided to go to the air. That touchdown's going to stand by the looks of it.
And there it is. Was worried I wasted a good call. Play stands. Was denied the end zone a number of times last year against the Rhinos. Just got caught. His little legs couldn't quite take him all the way to the end zone. This time, not being stopped.
Good catch, Warwick. Yeah, the DB wasn't doing a hell of a lot wrong on that play. It's just one of those plays where The pass is spot on, the receiver's right there. There's not a whole lot you can do sometimes. This is what I expected the Ravens to be doing pretty much from the start of the game, but they've obviously decided now it's time to start turning on the aerial attack. They've just got so much talent in their receiving core.
Absolutely, Queensland talent all the way around. Or Russell.
It's good for one.
No, right. So it's hard for me trying to judge these kicks from this commentary angle.
Well, I thought for sure that was in, but
I thought so too, but angles are a funny thing.
yeah.
So 20-12, the score. The Ravens are leading the Stingrays. They answer back after the Stingrays found 2 scores of their own in response to the Ravens.
Is that 133 and a half, is that right?
That appears so, 90 seconds or a few ticks over.
Coming up to half time, Stingrays will be looking to get more points on the board to make sure the scoreline doesn't blow out for the second half. In some ways, the Ravens might have scored a bit too soon.
Yes, especially with the way that the Stingrays are scoring. You got to wonder the Ravens. They play predominantly zone coverage. Let's see if they shade a bit more safety attention over to the way of number 85. Mitchell Bessie dropping this just beyond the 10. It's an awkward bounce and it can be recovered. Chris Clark's got to get on it. They've forgotten the rules. That was a live ball to be recovered.
Oh dear. I had no idea what he was doing, but it was obviously the very wrong thing.
That is Blair Rubock, and I don't know. I know he's a rookie. I don't know if he's played before anywhere else, but if he's been used to returning punts, he might have thought that was a situation where he could let it roll. Not the case on kickoffs.
No, you got to down the ball or pick it up, but you can't just let it go dead because it's not going to. I thought he thought it was going to run out, but then no, hang on, it's not going out.
And Chris Clark, who's played football all the way from his Pee-wee days in Indiana.
And you're also well within your bounds to push the player out of the way, as Chris did with his shoulder. So a good heads-up thought from Chris Clark. Unfortunately, not the same from the Stingrays return man. That was the last thing they wanted, obviously.
Rubock there, after having 2 big scores, gets knocked down a peg. As this will be kept by Stagman. Looking for Warwick Russell in the corner. Oh, wow. He's just piling up a highlight reel tonight. Second touchdown of the quarter. A solid fake to Holiday Miller. And a tiptoe catch there in the corner of the end zone by Warwick Russell.
Just too much time for Jared there. I mean, you give someone like Jared that much time to find a receiver and give the receiver time to get open, it's just going to hurt you too much.
Look at that.
Nice catch from Warwick.
Outstanding. And toe drag swag on the catch indeed, Robert Hockenbrough. And now he uses those toes to kick this ball over the crossbar and inside the uprights. That's the first successful PAT we've seen tonight. 27-12 the score reads. Blake Hatchman on screen a moment ago.
So unfortunately we're not joined by another Bayside luminary this evening. Glenn Parker not able to make the trip over. He normally helps with officiating on Sunbowl Day with some of the earlier games in the program, but Glenn's at home in New Zealand looking after things over there. Hello to Glenn, wherever you are at the moment. Hope you're enjoying the game.
Yeah, you were talking about the Bayside Ravens' first victory lost a year ago. Would have been a bittersweet moment for him, obviously having a foot in the creation of the Bayside Ravens that exists, and obviously his experience with the Rhinos that happened towards the back end of his time in Australia. So.
That's right. And we've got a few of the old Razorbacks here today. I saw Ian Edwards floating around before, looking exceptional as always, and Trevor Dart's here, I believe. Trevor, not just an ex-Razorback, but also very significant as part of the formation of the Ravens back in 2000. He had a lot to do with that.
I love how he tried to call you when he could clearly hear your voice going out to the stadium.
Yeah, classic Trevor.
Classic. 27-12. 1 minute 19. The Ravens just benefiting from a very short field followed by a kickoff blunder. Bessie aims for the same corner. This time Rubok impressively fields it on the hop and trying to make up for his error. 2 plays ago, and he will get this ball back to the 27-yard line.
Yeah, not a bad result. Be happy with that. And the ball goes into the end zone and goes dead. The receiving team gets the ball at the 20-yard line to resume their offensive attack. So to get the ball to almost the 30 is, I guess some would say that's an 8-yard bonus. So
indeed. Just to continue our interaction with those tuning into the stream, again, Robert Hackenbrough, it looks like our furthest viewer seems to be hailing from California, 1:30 a.m. in the morning. I don't know what you're doing there, Rob, but thank you for tuning in from California. And that is another pass into the direction of Blair Rubok, incomplete. And I'll bring up second down. Clock hasn't
number
changed.
30, number 30, Jordan Desbro, ex Kenmore Bear. I played with Jordan back in 2013. It's good to see him out there running around.
I'm about to say, came back to the sport, locked down a starting spot here for the Bayside Ravens. I think he had a short stint with the Griffith Uni Thunder, sometime between now and his Bears days. Pete Brewer moved to the outside linebacker position here. Will drop, looking for Rubok underneath. Another catch there. Looks like whoever the Stingrays put in that 85 jersey seemed to find a way to make plays.
Yeah, Damo not afraid to do a ditto on the previous play.
We've got England checking in now, Natalie Quimby. I think that is actually Nickelback Robert Quimby's more relative, I imagine, of Robert Quimby, who is one of the lone Englishmen on the Ravens.
Okay, there's been a few Englishmen over the years playing in the Gridiron competition in Queensland. I would fancy the Stingrays would like their chances of a mismatch between Rubok and Desbro. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them try to air it out down this left-hand sideline again. If Jordan moves up a little bit, I think they might try to take advantage of that.
PNG getting in on the viewing action, it appears. Thanks, Troy. Third down and short. Let's see if they go back to 84. No, I think he's off the field. He might be getting a quick blow. Oh, gets back onside, does Cape well. 3rd and 1. Malloy, keeper, squirts his way through. He converts. Less than a minute on the clock. It looks like it'll be a timeout. Gold Coast. If they got the first down, they're going to catch their breath and reassess.
Yeah, disappointing read from Peter there. He'll be cranky to himself for that. He was in the right spot, but he's just overread that and overcommitted to the left-hand side, and you don't want to overcommit to any side with Damo when he's carrying the ball, because he'll make you look pretty stupid. Just got to hold your ground a little bit and make him make the decision, and then punish him for making that decision so you can tackle him. Easier said than done, of course.
I think another Ravens old boy, Luke Edwards, tuning into the stream. Got to be good to see him back in the league again. If you're watching Luke, hint hint. 1st and 10. Pete Brewer going to match up one-on-one with a slot receiver out there, and number 30, who might not be on the team list. I think in fact might be Nat Neal Tassel-Gabir. Back to Blair Rubok again.
That's
Ball
one.
hits the ground despite Rubok's the bag.
One bounce, one catch rules not applying tonight.
Nearly used 2 hands there. Gotta say, the only moist areas left here at Sunshine Coast Stadium are around the middle of the field, down on the left-hand side of the field, and
the PAT spot on the northern end.
So William Reeves might have been upgraded in microphones.
I think it's 2nd and 10. Stingrays running out of time to get things happening in this half.
Malloy looking to the left again and now tucks the ball. He's got Jem McDonald blocking for him in front. Oh, taking down 2 Ravens. That is the Damien Malloy that is here to stay forever.
Yeah, not the sort of thing you want your middle linebacker to come up second best on. Brad Ebden taking the brunt of Damo's impact there.
I don't care how quote-unquote past his prime Malloy may be now or in the years to come. I stand by the belief he'll be able to do that to people for as long as he chooses to play football.
Yeah. He certainly got that X factor, Kenny. That's why his fans love him so much, and even his non-fans, begrudging respect.
27-12. Stingrays on the move though, would love to score. Heading into the half. Malloy checking off at the line. Both his slots off the line. Forced to run, that he does. A one-on-one with Chris Clark. He'll take it to the outside. Sees Clark, gives him a shimmy and takes it over the left-hand sideline.
And this is what the Stingrays need to do. I mean, the Ravens have weaknesses, and I would think with the brains trust behind the Stingrays, Lance and Damo, they'll know what those weaknesses are, and they'll be looking to exploit them. So at the moment, they're doing a good job of that, but they just need to get their act together on defense. Offensively, they're staying in the game. They're making yards. They're exploiting what the Ravens are putting in front of them. And if they can start getting things happening on defense.
Some of our newer viewers are, sorry to cut you off there, Jeff. Some of our newer viewers are in awe of that last hit from Damien Malloy. Little they know it's things we've been witnessing for years. And this will be a handoff there. Oh, a nice low tackle there from Pete Brewer. Jem McDonald toting that last carry. And the Stingrays taking a timeout. I think that's got to be their third and final. No, they've got one remaining. All right, I'm watching that. I'm trying to see the scoreboard there. It looks like, no, that was their final, third and final. 30 seconds left on the clock.
Just can't help but feel that mistake from the kick return team before is really going to hurt the Stingrays. I mean, here they are, 27-12. It could have been, I think, was it 2012? Yeah, 2012. If they'd had this field position at 20-12, they'd be pretty confident of getting a score and taking the score potentially to a 20-all draw at half time. But if they do get the score here, it's going to be, they're looking at 27-20, 27-18 potentially. The effect that one little tiny mistake can have on a game.
Everything's exacerbated in the Sunbowl. Tony Keeler now starting to look pretty comfortable at that centre position for someone starting their first ever game at centre. He's involved in a double team now.
He's open. He's open.
Safe in between two Ravens, but in his defence, the receiver and James Hobby did manage to get up and get his hands on it.
Yeah, nice work from 26 to get across from safety too for the Ravens. Damien Brudrick. He made some good yardage to get over there and help break that up.
He's improving with every year. Probably looking up. He probably hated me for saying this. So he did get the better of by who's that wide receiver for the Rhinos last year? Who came back? Name escapes me right now. One of Stegman's old Recepticons, but
Chiam?
No, not Chiam James,
James.
He's certainly become one of the respected veterans in this Ravens locker room.
Now
intercepted! Jaron Hoogadike, a former safety turned corner, takes the ball away from Gold Coast. And we'll see if the Ravens choose to do anything with their final 17 seconds of half number one.
Little underthrown that time, Damo, and he paid the price for it with a nice pick from the Ravens DB. He'll be disappointed with that. He would have wanted a lot more from that drive. It was looking so good. "17 seconds. I think the Ravens will be looking to punish the Stingrays a bit more in these 17 seconds. Keep it on the ground and just run the clock out, or air it out a little bit.
First out of 10, I think. Liam Reeves.
Darius is normally somewhat reserved, so I wouldn't be surprised if they keep it on the ground.
That they do. Holiday Miller's got it on the left-hand side of the line. And that doesn't look like they're seeking for any timeouts, so that might be half. We're looking for 4 zeros here on our scoreboard. Ravens look like they're more than happy to take it to the sheds. That they do. That's the end of one, and the Stingrays with a big second quarter showing plenty of life here. Damian Malloy geeing up the Stingrays contingent here in the crowd as they head to the sheds. Your halftime score is the Bayside Ravens at 27, Gold Coast Stingrays at 12. Kenny Andres, Justin Fernley, Liam Reeves here in the booth with you. Stick with us. Second half and the final half of Gridiron Queensland football coming up next.
President Craig James.
4 minutes left here in Gridiron Queensland in the year 2020. 27 points to 12. The Bayside Ravens in their 20th year lead the Gold Coast Stingrays here with 2 more quarters to play. They will be receiving the ball after deferring their first half option. Kenny Andres, Justin Fernley and Liam Reeves floating our information back and forth here for you for the final half of football for Gridiron Queensland in 2020, brought to you by live streaming at Brisbane, here on the, all the way from down the road and out to as far as Port Moresby, California, England. Checking in wherever you are in the world. Appreciate you joining us.
Starting the second half with some light, I think you'd call that light to medium rain falling down. So far it hasn't really had too much of an effect on the game. Both teams seemingly running and passing the ball quite successfully, and there have been a couple of unusual mishandlings of the ball.
It'd be interesting to see if you thought it was dry in the halftime sheds and then came out to see this rain.
Bit of a shout out to some of the GQ legends in the crowd today. Christian McCarty there, obviously sweating on a Ravens victory, and the Razorbacks boy Phil Taylor, sometimes Queensland State team manager. Jason Leinberg, ex-Razorback, who really doesn't do much except look attractive and certain lights.
Certain lights. These are the joys you get if you actually come out and watch these games live. In this instance here at Sunshine Coast Stadium. Tommy Torzok hailing from a Gardner Web. The Web.
We're waiting on a ball. What are we waiting on here? No, we've got a ball. The box man.
Oh, we are waiting on the chain crew, I'm being told. We're waiting for the... someone's missing on their... someone's sweating on their volunteer duties. The chain crew is a 3-person job. Go on, if you've ever wanted to be part of a Gridiron chain crew, now's your chance.
Get out there.
Sunbowl 2020. It's the year to try new things.
Big shout out to Vicky Bakel out there with the official GQ photographer duties today. She's braved the rain to do another outstanding job in taking some photographs of the players and officials and the general day-to-day activities during the game. Thank you very much, Vicky. Get out there. Her husband Aaron's probably here today, staying undercover and laughing at his wife commitment.
Has managed to dodge filming duties with this Sunbowl.
Oh,
has jumped on the camera 4 spot a couple of times in Sunbowl history. And
that one's going out of bounds.
They are not risking a Warwick Russell return here, or dare I say a Chris Clark reverse.
Well, I guess they figure they're
Illegal
either going to
procedure, kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
Giving them an extra, what, 15 yards, I think they get?
Ball be placed on the 30-yard line. First down.
30-yard line. Getting the ball on the 30, an extra 10 yards on what a kick touchback would be. It's probably not a bad result. If they can stop them from here, they can stop them from the 5-yard line. So
we finished the second quarter with back-to-back touchdowns. Stegman to Russell. Russell matched up with Sinapati once more. Bessie in the slot. And this is a bad snap, and
that could get a penalty.
a bunch of vigor coming through, and that flag will be attracted.
Oh.
Malloy already stepping in the numbers to try and argue his point.
That would have hurt Stegman too.
And both players are down, in fact. I think that's Lagerstrom.
Stegman there copying their helmet.
Ooh,
That's
right to the...
Dead set attacking with the crown of the helmet. It might even have potential for an ejection here.
Yes, well, that is exactly right. It is the crown of the helmet.
Oh,
That
dangerous for both players.
would not object. And quite frankly, I think that's not going to matter because I think he's done more damage to himself here. All right, I'm trying to figure out who's still down. It looks like it's Stegman. I thought both players were down.
Stegman's still down. The
thought that Lagerstrom was still down for a moment.
the number 3 from the Rays that did it, he's down because it was a nasty looking hit. The angle on his head and neck. It's a good way to get yourself permanently injured.
Well, I got to say, and please, I'm not saying this in anything other than to be educational, but this is exactly why they coach heads-up football.
Yep.
See what you hit, because
I mean, the only defence, possibly he was looking at the ball. He had eyes on the ball, and he just forgot the fact that he was going to make contact looking for the ball. But
I'm well and truly prepared to give him benefit of the doubt. 'Cause you're right, it was a loose ball on the ground there, and this is a tight
the
game.
angle he was coming at and where the ball was, it's a good argument. The fact that he was just looking at that ball.
And I think you're right. You
Got the hands in there
yeah.
trying to get a piece of it. That's got played a lot to do with the ultimate contact.
And I think you're right here, and I think this is one of those situations you get lost in a football objective, and it's just become an accident.
Yeah, the more I look at it, the more I think that's what's happened. I don't think he's come with a malice to really spear anybody, but I think he's just looking for the ball. Hopefully,
the penalty will stand. It looks like we are going to get a targeting call. And it also looks like Mitch Bessie will have to step into quarterback for at least a play. We'll see how healthy Stegman is. It looks like he's still talking to his team and he's up and about, so... And Lagerstrom is
Malloy
still...
and Newton arguing their case. I mean, I think they've got a case. If that's what they're saying, I think it's a fair call, fair comment from them. But unfortunately, what do you do in these situations? You know, Jared Stegman's the one left with a rather potentially nasty injury to his back. And as good as the Stingrays players' intentions might have been, I guess it's going to get a penalty called on it every time.
Well, I'm putting this out there, and this is going to sound odd, but I believe they've still got a challenge remaining, and that is a 15-yard penalty.
Challenge?
Well, you can charge anything that results in 15 yards or more.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I mean, the fact that you get his hands in front of him, normally in a classic spearing, that the hands are back.
tucked underneath
Further
the
review,
chest.
the call on the field is
His
confirmed.
hands in front, looking
Personal
at the ball,
foul.
trying to get-
Number 3, unnecessary roughness with targeting. Number 3 has disqualified himself from the game. 15-yard penalty. First down.
And, well, I think that is just academic. I think he would be returning to this game, even if he was, even if it wasn't a penalty there. You can see receiving some serious medical attention here and some very precautious energy.
Yeah, I
help.
mean, it's a really tough call. I mean, the fact that he's hurt himself obviously as badly as he has again suggests that he didn't have that neck balled, anticipating that contact. I think his intention has just been get in there, get the ball, and unfortunately his head got in the way. Certainly that's not going to make Jared's back feel any better. Well, Jared's moving pretty well now, so that's a good result. He's a tough unit.
And quite frankly, just this extended break might be enough just to have rubbed it good.
Well, hopefully the extended break also doesn't make that pain set in, because I've had injuries to my back, and for the first minute or so you feel pretty good, and then it starts to get a bit cold, and all of a sudden I don't feel so good. Ribs can be a funny thing.
We might be in for a bit more of an extended break here. I'm not sure how much longer we've got to wait. We might consider taking a short break if that's available to us.
Aircon noise might have got too much for Paul. Take all my clothes off.
Alright, we'll take a short audio break. Be back shortly. Alright, and that is Bluan Lagerstrom getting assisted off the field there by GQ and Stingray's president Craig James, as well as GQMC Kate Bennett.
Yeah. Will linebacker, that's going to create another headache for the Stingrays defence.
If they didn't have enough patchwork, as is.
They're playing like a...
First down and 10. We are back 27-12, third quarter. Just under 12 minutes. Bessie in motion. Darius Holiday Miller in this Wildbird package. And that's obviously because Stegman has to stay off and whoa.
We've lost it down a chain crew.
I think that might be one of the documentarian cameramen around.
Looks like a nasty hit too.
Let's see if there's a replay of that. I'm not sure if we caught that. Just keep your eye on the down marker there in one of the yellow jackets.
Having trouble getting up.
Oh, it is a down marker, gentlemen. I thought it was one of the camera operators. It was one of the gentlemen who were, I don't know if it was filling in late, but he has copped one heck of a shot. And we're going to take another break here because it looks like we're due for another extended break and another injury, not the type you'd expect. GQ Sunbowl, back shortly. And we are back, and the unfortunate injury to one of our chain crew has been attended to. He's being escorted once again. Kate Bennett on the scene, as well as one of our medics here in Gridiron Queensland, and hopefully he will be okay. It looks like he's up and walking, and just
He's nodding. Nodding's a good sign.
Get a once over. The question is, and we've got Mitchell Powell stepping in on chains. He's a slightly harder to knock over, given he's the starting left tackle of the Rockhampton Wolverines.
So we've got the Ravens right-hand receiver well and truly in the neutral zone there.
Yep, they missed that one. Stegman underneath has got a connection with Corkett, and he'll drive forward. A flag down though, back at the Ravens 40.
Quite sure what this chat's about. It's come from the line judge. So, oh, is it the line judge or the back judge?
Ryan Bolzano will fill us in.
It's against the Stingrays.
During the play. Personal foul. Roughing the passer. 45, defense. That'll be enforced half the distance from the end of the play. Dead ball foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 26, defense. That's number 26, first unsportsmanlike conduct. That will also be enforced half the distance. First down.
So, a couple of them there. Blake Hatchman and Tristan Bourgeois, one for a roughing the passer call, and the other one was some form of USC. I imagine there was some late hit action happening.
15 points down in the game in the Sun Bowl. The last thing you want to do is give the Ravens an easy ride to the end zone, and that's could possibly be what's just happened. A false start there, maybe.
Looking to the right, and I think there was a miscommunication there. There's another flag. Ryan Newton was the body I saw closest back there, but he's also one of the cleanest players you'll meet.
Potentially another roughing the passer. Yep, there it is.
The back end
in the back.
We'll see if we can take a look at that one more time. Might be a little easier to see on, I think we're about to get the wide shot here.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 52, defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
It's just really poor discipline from the Stingrays there.
There's Raniera Korpu getting a pin for that one.
They're still well and truly in this game. It's theirs if they want it, but doing things like that just suggests that they don't want it, and they need to get that out of their mentality.
Receivers both sides. And another motion here, a very common occurrence in this offense. Bessie to the slot, a give to Holiday Miller.
And he strolls in.
Navigate his way through the line and run his way in for touchdown number 2. That's the first score of the second half.
Tristan Bourgeois.
And a Stingray down.
What's that signal from Brian?
Injury timeout.
Called by Brian.
Go for another break. It's been a bit of a scrappy.
It's taken them a little while to get points on the board for the third quarter, but they've managed to do it basically courtesy of Stingray's mistakes and just handing them opportunities to move the ball down the field.
I mean, is that really the...
They've really had to do very little.
I mean, we played 12-minute quarters. Surely we've been through more than a minute But that being said, we've had a lot of stoppages. It's going to be an extended stay here for all of us driving home this evening. My sympathies are with you, Justin.
Well, I mean, the Ravens, I think, have only had 3 or 4 plays.
I suppose so, if you think about it, kick off and then...
Most of it's been injuries and penalties getting them down the field. Yeah, I'll be driving home after the game tonight. Probably make a stop in Gympie and head the rest of the way home from there. Hopefully the weather won't be too bad. I can certainly contend with this bit of rain. Just under 4 hours total drive, yeah.
Reeves having his mind blown by the commitment shown by Justin Furley for the...
Well, it's not just commitment, Ken. When Kenny Andres calls, one drops everything one's doing and answers the call.
I mean, it happened with you two, so I don't know what we're laughing about.
It's the call of the Ken. You don't say no to the call of the Ken.
I got roped into it too. Look at this, amazing.
33-12, third quarter. Gridiron Queensland Men's Division, 4th and final game of Sunbowl Saturday 2020 back underway. First down and goal. Stegman is back. Chris Clark this time getting involved in the receiving duties, and he'll add his name to the touchdown sheet.
Do we know why the other one wasn't a touchdown? Do we know why Darius's run wasn't a touchdown? We don't know
Unless
why.
that was a conversion. And
I think it must have been.
It was.
Yeah.
That was a conversion. Sorry, we've had so many stops in play. I've lost track.
Yep.
My apologies, audience.
Yeah, we believe it. The score is currently 35-12 as opposed to what the ground scoreboard of 34-12 is showing. There we go.
Just to update some people who just tuned in, 12:35 is the score there, Bayside Ravens, and what an eventful first drive of the third quarter. Took a very, very long time, real time, but ultimately less than a minute game time, of which we've seen 2 injuries, 3 unsportsmanlike conducts, and a targeting ejection.
They've pretty much picked everything they can from the 15-yard penalty box to gift the Ravens.
Blair Rubok with 2 touchdowns so far today.
There was a little hole there and it closed very quickly.
And that hole was Robert Quimby. And just away bounces back. Sorry, number 42 making the play there. That is Tom
Swarm of
Hodgkinson.
purple. What will Damo Malloy pull out of his bag of tricks on this drive?
They're going to need more magic from him.
Ryan James at running back.
No, that's Jem McDonald. There at tail, 41.
James Taylor, sorry, not Ryan James.
James Taylor is 23.
Yeah,
Still not to return.
42 was it?
And 41 is Jem McDonald. Yeah, that's a little easy to read, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, it is.
There you go.
It's very tiny.
Well, the more players, the tinier the font, I'm afraid. Second down and 10. And Malloy will keep, turns Capewell inside out, keeps the legs churning and picks up a couple of hard yards there. This will be 3rd and 5.
I don't think that's going to get the job done for the Stingrays. They haven't had a convincing, effective run game thus far. Damien's actually had a much more successful game getting the ball in the air. I think that's what they need to do to get back into this game at this point. It's pretty much all or nothing. I mean, they've got to go for it.
Exactly right, trailing by quite a margin now. Need more of that Damien Malloy magic. I'll show it to Reebok.
That's
Reebok's been part of that magic.
Nice play.
And that'll be enough to convert. He's having one heck of a rookie season. This is eerily reminiscent to, I'm trying to remember his name now. I think his name is Tommy McIntosh, if memory serves correctly, but he was the Sunbowl MVP from 2015 15 against the Rhinos, I think. Picked up like close to 15 receptions from Damien Malloy in his rookie season. I'm trying to test the interior of that Ravens defensive line. The D-line wins that battle. But Lance was good enough. Lance Kilo, that is. I'll probably happily call him the assistant head coach and starting Mike Backer in centre for this evening for the Gold Coast Stingrays. He gave me some of his time as he was travelling up to the Sunshine Coast, and I asked him, how's it different to previous years where you've been the favourite, you've come in as the front runner, and he goes, for once we feel like we're coming in without pressure. As we see this pass almost intercepted there from Chris Clark through the hands.
Another very unusual drop from Chris. Remembering back to the first half where he muffed the punt. Missing a catch there, he'll be very angry at himself. He doesn't like missing those opportunities to take the ball back to the other end zone.
But yeah, to finish off my thoughts of LT there, he said, we're not going in with any pressure. The pressure's on the Ravens. They're the one with the roster, with the experience, and with the reputation right now. The pressure's on them. We've just got to rock up and give our best shot.
Now, Lance is doing a good job at centre. He's got Jason Leon heads up on him at the moment. A little battle going on there. And nothing again. No running there. Peter Brewer with the nice stop.
As we'll see the change of swap, and as we actually go to the punt, I might get you to do the quick headphone dance here with Liam Reeves, Jeff, so we can get the halftime report from Lips himself, who went down to see Darius and Damien Malloy. What do we got, Lips?
Is the GQ TMZ joke overdone now? So just get on with it.
What do we hear?
Mate, alrighty. So caught up with Damo first. Had a chat with Damien. So number 6 out there for those playing along at home. Coming out of retirement this year, he's played a few games now, which has made him eligible, obviously. His message to his team is just to keep the faith and keep competing. They're looking to sort of meet the aggression and meet the chippiness there. So as you can see, the Stingrays boys are playing hard and not pulling up. And catching up with Darius after that, it was evident to them that the Rays had come to play today. Obviously, the scorelines that the Ravens have been putting up all season, it was blowouts left and right. And then the one time the Ravens played the Rays, which was just, last week or the week before? It was a 40-point win or something like that, right? 48 points. 42-3. And then Damien acknowledged that and said, well, I guess morale was quite low in the last couple of weeks, but to come out here and start competing with the minor premiers is...
Just quickly pause for a potential referee announcement. Hold the phone for those tuning in for Liam's halftime report.
There is no foul for a hit out of bounds.
That was very dramatic. So competing with the minor premiers like they're doing at the moment is obviously achieving for them in itself. Going back onto what Darius was finishing on, they really tried to put the game away early in Q1, which is quite evident with the fake punt and the little tricky play that Darius threw the interception on, which obviously didn't work out in their favour, and Darius and his team obviously acknowledged that. They've had a hard reset after the half, which you can kind of see, and they're ready to improve on this lead.
Wonderful, thank you, Lips. Stegman here with a draw play on first down. Darius Holiday-Miller has to evade defenders immediately and does so effectively to the note of 4 or 5 yards. And Justin Fernley, how good has it been having the halftime toss relay toss here from Liam Reeves all day long?
Well, Liam's obviously got a chock full of experience, having played the game for approximately 20 to 25 years. Not just on the field, but in front of his console of choice. So he knows a lot about the game. He knows a lot about what most people think. He's coached, he's lived and breathed the game. So having his unique perspective and being able to get inside the minds of the coaches and players is invaluable and makes for a much more enjoyable take on the game. So thank you to Liam for that.
All jokes aside, it is not easy doing what he's doing. He's been going up and down. He's been holding presentations, and I can tell you firsthand as Darius Holiday Miller looks to pull a rabbit out of a hat, looks to throw again. He'll have to tuck this ball now. He's wrestling an entire horde of Stingrays, and they will take him down to the tune of negative 15 to 20 yards.
Well, we saw what happened last time the Stingrays pulled off a huge play like that. Stingrays will be hoping for the same success following this huge loss for the Ravens.
Darius Holiday Miller, well...
He thought about doing everything there.
He has
passing,
got that
running,
Barry Sanders effect to him.
giving away a safety.
You know, he will pull off some amazing, unrepeatable things.
He's always
But he
enjoyed
will also
watch.
cop a loss every now and again, trying to do so.
Yeah. Look, it comes from pulling off the impossible at times. Sometimes it doesn't work, but you know, the times it does, that's what makes people remember.
Third down.
Jared will be pretty keen to go to the air.
They do so. A screen pass to Mitch Bessie, who's now found some open space, gotten past the original line of scrimmage. Can't make the second. But that will get them to what will end up being around 4th and 5, maybe 4th and 6.
Yeah, I really think Jared will be very keen to start opening it up in the air and trying to get some yards on the ground via his receivers. Damien Malloy having to be on the defensive side of the ball again.
Looks like we've got a timeout to the Stingrays here on this 4th down. I think, quite frankly, could just be to maybe catch their breath. They've been doing a lot of chasing over the last 2 plays.
It's probably not ideally what Damo wants to do, and obviously the situation has forced him to go on to defence, but I just can't see them winning this game if Damien's got to play both ways. He needs the energy to do what he does on offence.
I think if it's 1 or 2 plays, that's fine. You still think about, remember when they were taking on the Rhinos in a very, very close game all those years ago when he was starting quarterback, and then the time came and he goes, I need to get into this game, popped himself into free safety, picked off Jared Stegman for the game-winning intercept there.
That's what he can do, but having to do it the whole game,
it's a big ask.
It's just, I don't think he's got the play time behind him to do it for this game.
The Ravens are going to respect the Ravens D. Sam James taking over the punting duties, cops a bit of a shot there, but gets up immediately. No dramas.
Yeah, most of it was of his own making. And it annoys me when punters decide to run around and get a bit of incidental contact, and you're staring down and roughing the kicker penalty. And for those, like I said, if they move, they're fair game, but the officials sometimes don't agree with me.
For those who don't know, Sam James and his team, obviously Sam is competing in the Sunbowl, but his videography team is, and you can see a bunch of them in yellow high-vis shirts all around the field. They are documenting the Sunbowl here, and I'm going to turn it into a NFL film-style video for everyone to enjoy and to help promote the league. And I'll tell you what, he has got some very expensive equipment out there. So really looking forward to seeing the final cut of that. Keep your eyes out. First down and 10 for the Stingrays, trailing 35-12. Malloy over the middle. I'm not sure if there was a misunderstanding of route concept there because Rubok was going deep.
Didn't seem to come out of the hand very well, so it could be a bit of both. Yeah, I think we'll start seeing the Damien Malloy aerial show from here on out. There's really no point in running unless their objective wants to be to stop the Ravens putting points on the board, but that's not how Damien Malloy works. He'll be out there, he'll be competitive to the final whistle.
Second down and 10. Malloy back again in the shotgun. Trying to work out who's sitting at tailback with him now. It looks like a change up. They'll throw over the middle, almost. I thought for a second Hugadike was going to try and go for pick number 2, decided to go for the hit.
I think he probably actually should have focused a bit more on getting the pick. I think he's just misread that one a little bit. Thought the receiver had a chop at it, but it was well overthrown. Probably could have just hung back and got himself a nice easy pick. It's hard to read those things sometimes.
It is, especially when you're
looking straight into the lights, no doubt too.
Third down conversion attempt here for the Gold Coast Stingrays. Malloy claps his hands, ready for the snap. Looking right, throwing back to the left, looking off safeties. Rubok had done the hard work to get between the two defenders, but couldn't quite lay out far enough for the catch. Incomplete. 4th down, and the Stingrays are sending on the punt unit.
It's a nice ball from Damo too. He really slung that in there. Just a little overthrown.
This is going to sound like a silly question, but how big are... I've shaken his hand before, but how big are Damien Malloy's hands?
They're not overly large. He's surprised a lot of people over the years with his passing abilities. You know, when he first started playing quarterback, he was a little bit rough. It was back in 2010.
I remember that, and he was copying a lot of the comments. 2 particular words would get to him: gadget quarterback, as Torzok just chips it into touch. Dare I say, use the terminology of the sport it reminded me of?
The Stingrays' inexperience is really showing in parts. But yeah, Damo, he copped a lot of negativity and probably unwanted criticism in his early days of quarterbacking. A lot of people just thought he was a gadget quarterback and a guy that could run that's been thrown into the quarterback position, but he's proved pretty much everyone wrong.
Just a couple of Sunbowl MVPs.
Yeah. He's certainly got the job done. He's in saying that, he is an unconventional quarterback, but that's what makes him so dangerous.
Funny thing is, as the years have gone by, his unconventionality has become more conventional with the way that some of the quarterbacks look right now in college and the NFL.
Yep.
And I think there was a flag on the play there, because here they go. Speaking about unconventional, here comes the upback.
He gets
the man himself, Damien Malloy.
That's what he'll do to you. Just when you think you've got the ball at halfway, he'll pull that out of his hat and get the job done. Look, a lot of the time he's got no right to get the yards he does, whether it's in the air or on the ground, but he just manages to find a way to get it done. The Ravens D looking to put another stop on.
Oh, you got some fans. Carl Bopit tuning in as the Rays.
Big stop from the Ravens, number 70.
John McDonald. That's
Joel Maddock. He would have enjoyed that.
Just to repeat there, that's Carl Bopit stating how soothing Justin Fernley's voice is.
I missed that, sorry.
Carl Bopit.
Kyle, yes, my son, Kyle. It's good to hear from him. He doesn't call his father often enough, like most sons.
2nd down and 9.
Damo with the key.
Under pressure. Shakes the first would-be sacker as Maddock has been constantly dealing with ways to control certain aspects of his behaviour. This time keeps his cool.
Has Joel played most of his football in the States on the D-line or the O-line?
The D-line.
The D-line, because he started off as an offensive tackle in the GQ competition.
Correct.
And then went over there and they did their homework on him and thought that he might be a better option on the D-line.
A lot of the Stingrays faithful not losing hope. Jaden Pellington chiming into the comments saying there is still a lot of time to play. We coming. 3rd down and 6. Bloy catches him. A free play here if he wants it. Trying to step up and let it go, but he couldn't quite get there. But he has found some productivity with his feet. Hurdle! He's still got it! Malloy over a defender and over the sideline for a 1st down.
That's gold. Malloy gold. I told him before the game to open up a can of Whoop-Ass number 6, and he's doing it. That's great.
Look at that. Good job.
Perfect form.
Paul Mills and the camera team.
Let's just hope there's flags against the Ravens for the sake of the Stingrays' cause. The Ravens have been getting a little bit rattled. I don't think they expected to have to put up this much of a fight. Obviously, the scoreboard is very much against the Rays at the moment, but I think they'd be a little surprised by just how much the Rays have been able to throw at them.
I think the stoppages have also probably helped. Neither team has really been able to get a rhythm, and if that's going to favour one of these two teams, it appears to be the Gold Coast Stingrays.
Yep.
1st down and 10. Malloy seeming to put a drive together here late in the third.
So if memory serves me correct, the Ravens came back from a fair deficit against the Rhinos.
No, they lost a significant deficit. They were leading at 17.
That's right, it was the other way around, yeah.
Then they had to come back from a score or 2 down.
Yep.
Was leading by 17 at the half. Oh, no, by like third quarter, I believe.
Yeah.
Couple
So
of back-to-back fumbles.
So it has happened to them before.
Second down. Right. Malloy has got one-on-one coverage. I think that's got to be coming back for a flag. Yet I can't see any.
That's a penalty.
And if JF's calling for it, you know it's legit.
Yeah, that's as good as OPI pushing off gets.
The Ravens can't challenge. They're out of challenges. But it looks like the booth is going to intervene here. So it looks like
That's a textbook push-off. Not allowed to make contact with the defender with your hands and push off. So you could use that in a training video.
The crazy thing is, I don't think he had to.
He didn't know that the defender had overrun it voluntarily.
Looks like we're about to get the official call. Down to Brian.
Watch down in distance, please. Make sure what we have is correct. We have offensive pass interference.
It looks like they're just trying to find the appropriate.
Offense number 85. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat the down.
And there it is. And that's exactly why we have the system in place in Sunbowls.
So just to confirm, that wasn't a challenge from on the field. That was the video referee in the booth seeing that infringement and calling it appropriately.
Being able to buzz down, yep.
Yep. Either that or he heard me saying it.
Surely.
Sorry, Stingrays fans.
Looks like the ball's on
It's
the
at the 32 yard.
32, exactly right.
Down counter and first down.
I think there's a 1 yard difference between the two of them.
Maybe a yard, yeah. Maybe 2nd and 9, maybe.
Just a few more storylines there as they're looking to get the chain crew sorted. Aniara Cooper, the starting defensive end for the Gold Coast Stingrays, rookie by technicalities, but it played a lot of football in NZ, I've been told. So some much needed experience on the defensive line. His sort of presence is allowing Lance Tonga-Kilo to play at middle linebacker and help fill some of that depth. Unfortunate injury, as I mentioned earlier, to the man who would be wearing number 61, James Veal. Be starting at guard. Usually the Stingrays have had the luxury of starting with centre Dale Stanley for a number of years, but it looks like he's happily stayed away.
Well, he's posting regular photos of his baby on Instagram, so I can confirm he seems to be really investing his time into fatherhood, which is fantastic.
Certainly looks like that has been the case for a lot of people in the last 2 years.
So John Karakari is injured.
Got injured against by my memory, the Rhinos a couple of weeks ago in their 18-18 draw.
Yep.
And hasn't quite been able to fully.
So not a significant injury, I hope.
It was a significant knock that knocked him out there. He didn't return for the game, and I think he's been trying to make it back since.
Okay.
Obviously, couldn't come good to a position where he could.
And his brother Ben is in the States, is that right?
Yeah, Ben Karikari, I think that's him there in the black shirt. That is John I'm referring to, not Ben. Okay. Yes, Ben is in the States, last I heard.
I think.
Doing big things. Hand off here to Jim McDonald. And this D-line has been incredibly stout against the run all evening. Change up here, and coming in is number 25, Eduardo Jimenez
John
Criado.
McDonald not getting the memo on helmet removal on the field.
I think if he doesn't know, he's about to know. So Jimenez Criado now takes his spot in the backfield.
Third down, a long way to go.
And Malloy protected nicely. Down the field he goes. And
yep.
Rubok
Good defense.
can't get around there, and he's appealing for a penalty, but there was nothing wrong with the coverage on that play.
Yeah, really good coverage from Jordan on that play.
Had it sorted.
Kept the inside press, didn't let him get across in front of him or behind him. Good work.
Looking back for the ball.
Yeah, it's pretty much a wide receiver's job to ask for PI on every non-court pass.
It's like in rugby league with a dummy half appealing for penalties every play the ball.
That's what you got to do. It's
It
part
is
of
what it is.
it's part of the job requirement.
Just about a minute left here in quarter number 3. Malloy, 4th down. What's he doing? He's protecting on the left side. Line drive punt here from Tommy Torzok. And it will be down nicely in the 10. So there we go. A solid punt will make the Ravens work.
Seem to be lacking some of the knowledge of the basics, the Stingrays players. Again, that's due to inexperience, but like he stopped that ball that was still making its way towards the end zone. There was no need to down that ball. Just let it keep rolling and get the extra 2 or 3 yards.
Dare I say there might be a little bit of PTSD there for Blair Rubok, who did let that kick off.
Possibly.
Bounce there, so he's just trying to fix his mistakes, and I can respect that. I'm not going to get chewed out for one thing and then not jump on it the next time around, even if the rules dictate in that particular situation. I could have let it roll. Holiday Miller back. I feel like I haven't called his name in a hot minute, and he's getting wrestled there from Jamal Sinapati, an old teammate of his. Ryan Newton also in on the play.
Ryan Newton solid as always in the middle of the trench.
I think it's always a unique experience for Jamal. He has to come against the Ravens. The place he started
wore their colours for how many years was he a Raven?
As did his brothers and his father.
Yeah, big history of set parties at the.
But it's been a number of
at
years
the
now.
Ravens,
But it is
5 years in the uniform and
it's
going the other way.
Not a decision he took lightly. I know he did go back and forth with it for a long, long time. Stegman can't complete. Intended to Sam James, now getting involved in the receiving action.
It was just a geographic decision.
Yeah, he
I believe.
lives up. Yeah, he was travelling down the M1 to get the training all the time, and that takes a toll on some people. Obviously, some people happy to do that sort of thing, but it's not practical for everybody.
Yep. Jared looking to get things happening in the air again.
He also had the opportunity to learn from, at the time, Frankie, who was a wonder at coaching DBs. Frankie Passamani, if he's tuning in, he might be too busy being a successful model.
Lance dropping back.
3rd down now, and staring down Corkett. He's got him, but I think he might be short.
Called it incomplete. Must have had his foot on the line, I think.
He could have had a whole lot of him there, Robbie Corkett. He's a tall man.
I think his bum went down after the catch, but possibly a little bit of foot action on the sideline.
Yeah, I think his right foot there, right heel, was in contact with the left-hand sideline, and that looks like that will bring us to a close here in the 3rd quarter. And the two teams will flip over, and we will begin the 4th and final quarter of this game, and the 4th and final quarter of the season 2020.
Yeah.
Close. We just saw on replay.
I think that was a fair call.
Catch.
So the Ravens, how many points have they got in the second half so far? It's only the one touchdown, is that
touchdown,
right?
27, I believe, was their halftime score.
Yeah. The Stingrays will be pretty happy with that. Doing a good
a
job to contain them.
peculiar third quarter. The first minute took a very, very long time, and then it's just zoomed past. Here we are, the final 12 minutes.
Fourth quarters have a way of getting away on teams.
And Sam James into punt. So the Stingrays have done
A nice torpy.
a good job here, and it's Rubok with a...
Oh, he's a wall of Ravens. Oh, he's
Shooting
left the
return
outside
here.
contain.
And he's broken into the backfield and will
Nice work.
hop his way past halfway and into Ravens territory here. So
The Ravens special team coach will be blowing up something chronic with that miscontainment. That well exploited by the Stingrays return man.
hey, look, a quick score here. Conversion ideally, making it 35-20. We're talking only a 2-possession game.
$35-20 with the 2-point extra, if they can get a score on this drive. Sets it up for a very interesting final quarter.
Just to repeat some of my disbelief, I can't believe Matawani's only 17 years old. There he is, starting at left tackle. And Damo, I was reading the defense, considered keeping it, handed it off, and the Ravens defense 8.
Yeah. There has been nothing up the middle all night, and Joel Maddock, I can pretty much guarantee, will not let anyone get past. A lot of experience in the middle of the Ravens D-line.
Few more. Oh, look at this. 3 cameras just because we can. Because GQ got it like that. And Malloy from 3 different angles. How about that? Just because we can.
He's giving us a treat. 2 hurdles in one game. He's just showing off now.
It's almost like Paul Mills knew what was about to happen.
Nice pickup, Damo. The Ravens linebacking crew probably not respecting the fact that Damo does like to do this stuff. Dropping back into coverage a little earlier than they should. Damo hasn't been.
Damo will keep on 3rd down. Will spin. That spin move's not as quick as it once was.
I was just thinking the same thing. He didn't trust his speed to get outside either.
And he'll be taken down for a loss of half a yard there.
Yeah, the Damo of old would have been around that left-hand corner in a blink of an eye, but he just didn't trust himself to get there.
And not that it's still not relevant now, but once upon a time you had Malloy at 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. Just move the chains.
Yeah, that's guaranteed. 4th down, they're probably going to go for it. And they are.
Here he is. There's still plenty of juice left in that orange. 6 yards needed. Malloy with a clean pocket and a clean throw. And he breaks away here, and that is number 83, and Corey Doyle, one of the slots, getting an opportunity here, but flags are down. Back near where Malloy threw the ball. This could be in favour of
yeah,
the
normally when
Stingrays.
it's back at the QB, yeah, that's roughing. Got there a bit late.
And the Stingrays now going to get a bit of luck.
And that's going to take them.
Did I just hear he's been doing it all day for the first time
And that's
today
tacked
from the
on.
crowd? A bit disappointed. He's been doing it all day, sir, from the crowd for the first time. Here we are in the 4th quarter of the 4th game.
What are your eyes painted on, sir? Some of the classics coming out now in the 4th
Get
quarter.
him on side.
There's a knock on, sir.
35-12.
So the roughing the passer tagged on to their gain from the play. 1st and 9.
McDonald
First and goal.
staying in the running back position. They'll hand it off to him now, and he tries to find some blockers, but again, this D line refuses to yield any yards up the middle. And the rain has returned.
Yep, and just enough to be pretty
Maddock.
annoying.
Joel Maddock showing off his strength on that play.
Just bad work by the want to be lead blocker, number 83, just made no impression at all. Corey Doyle.
Beautiful footage there. Look at that. And the rain has come back, and has come back with a vengeance. Gave us about a quarter of a respite.
Scattering the crowd. Malloy running himself.
Malloy keeping that ball low and will ride his defender to the sideline. Making that play was Quimby. Sorry, Hodkinson, my apologies.
Rain's coming down with a bit more of a vengeance now. Going to make the last quarter slightly more interesting. It's the last thing the Stingrays want. They want to be getting the ball in the air and getting completions and yardage and getting touchdowns.
More and more of the Justin Family fan club just appearing at this left side of the booth. 3rd and goal. Stingrays looking for a much needed score to try and bring this to a 2-possession game should they be able to convert. 2 by 2. Keeper again to Malloy. That is the main on the menu, and Malloy, for the 2nd time today, bulldozes his way through 2 defenders, and he's feeling it. He's got the much needed score, but at what cost?
I think it's just his energy levels. He's feeling it. I don't think that would have hurt him, but he's just getting exhausted. And that's what I mean. Like he can't afford to play offense and defense. He needs to stay on the field for offense.
And we're getting some real mud bowl action again. This rain is not only coming in, it's coming in sideways right at our crowd here at Sunshine Coast Stadium. We're seeing a lot of them retreat to higher ground. And with 7:50 remaining here in the 4th quarter. What's going on here?
The Stingrays successfully completing that drive with a touchdown. They'll be looking for a 2-point PAT to take it to 35-20. That's a 15-point spread. 2 successfully converted touchdowns will put them 36-35 in front. So there's really no advantage in getting 1 point at this point.
And Malloy's there, getting the crowd going once again, signaling out to the Stingrays side of the stadium.
Yeah, try to run it in.
Quarterback, is that Jamal?
No.
Trying to see who stepped in at quarterback. It's Lance Tonga Kilo, who is no stranger to the position. He's played there for the last seasons or 2 intermittently. 35-18.
Stingrays need to score 3 times.
About to say that was a very key 2-point conversion there. I mentioned it. That would have got them within 2 possessions. Now they're going to have to find a way to do it 3 times. Of course, you can add a field goal into that. They did kick a field goal last time they played. Tommy Torzok, also a noted kicker, but look at these conditions. We don't want to try to be kicking
It's going to be a miracle.
Vinatieri wouldn't want to kick in these conditions.
Yeah, the Ravens really need to do some talking amongst themselves at this point. I don't know, obviously, what's being said out there, but they need to be talking and regrouping and just going back to basics and just getting the ball moving along the ground. I think we'll be seeing a lot of work from Darius for the next 5 or 6 minutes. They need to run this clock down, get the yards, not do anything risky, keep the ball away from the Stingrays, who at the moment have got all the momentum.
Onside kick is almost recovered from the Rays. Flags are down because the ball has travelled over the sideline, but that would have been huge.
Again, the Ravens, they just weren't ready for it. The Stingrays didn't really disguise what their intentions were.
Exactly. When you got to understand the context of the game, you definitely go for it.
They had just a normal formation. They dodged a bullet big time there. So here we go, the Darius show. Unless I'm very much mistaken, which I don't think I will be. The Stingrays should probably get one of those safeties up closer to the box.
Looks like
I don't think at this point in the game there's much point in having 2 safeties back there.
And yeah, I'll tell you what, the footage you're seeing on your screen does do the real conditions justice. Darius Holiday-Miller down the left-hand side of the field. He's lost the ball! The Ravens immediately signalling in their direction. No celebrations by the Gold Coast lads, so this should be a Raven ball and 2nd down. And one of the linemen there just saved his skip up. And it looks like that fumble won't count to the stat sheet. Darius Holiday-Miller was down, so not that it would have changed too much, but his stat sheet won't be an issue. And Bessie, motion to the left, they give to Holiday-Miller again. I think they're going to trust him to ride their way to a Sunbowl victory for 2 years straight.
They're going to run the ball. The Ravens are going to run the ball. So get the corners up, get the safeties up. If they do pass it on you and you don't react accordingly, then take your chances on the ball not getting where it's supposed to get, but put some faith in the abilities of your defensive backs. But just think having 2 safeties back 10 yards in these circumstances isn't probably the best way to defend against what the Ravens are going to do. And they've moved them up now.
There you go, 3rd and 7.
3rd down and 7, 6.
Dare the Ravens to pass if they wish, but look at that hole for Holiday-Miller. Then bounces off the secondary and converts on 3rd and long.
Number 17 for the Stingrays. Tommy Torzak having a bit of a slap at the ball. At this stage of the game in the wet, your best chance is just to drill that helmet into the ball.
Napier tried to shoulder the ball out.
Get your face mask into that ball and try to get it out. I think Darius is going to give it up with a slap. That's a good drive from the Ravens. Just grind it out.
Holiday-Miller with plenty of space down the right-hand side. He's still going and runs this out of bounds. 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. (35-18) the score. 3 possessions. 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here. And a Sunbowl that will probably be remembered very well for its conditions for years to come.
Yeah.
First down and 10. Inside the red zone now. The Ravens looking to secure the bag and get a put-away score here. Inside 5. Once again, the ball goes back to DHM. Keeps the legs churning and drives his way in for a Raven touchdown. In a score that just might put this a little too far away for the Gold Coast Stingrays.
Yeah, I think that's the death knell.
And look at the way he's holding onto the ball, almost like the ball was the victory itself.
The wetness making it very hard to make tackles above the waistline. This weather, you just got to get low. You got to grab those legs and hold on.
And with that, the Ravens hit the 40 burger.
Nice work from the Ravens. Good drive. Doing the smart thing. Just letting Darius run through the holes and pick up the yards. Peter Chang into the backfield for the Ravens.
Sam James in motion. Peter Chang will get a rep in at running back, and Sam James adds a conversion. And that has been very much their 2-point package so far. Chuck someone in with speed at wide receiver and let him take the quick pass across the behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, with just under 5 minutes to go, and the weather, the rain still coming down. The Stingrays having seemingly no answer or reply to the Stingrays running game, the Ravens running game. This Damo can pull a miracle out of his running game. I think it could start to blow out a little bit.
Well, look, after seeing Malloy after that last drive, I've never seen a man look more spent on a football field. I don't know how much gas he's got left in the tank.
Yeah, and he's still playing both ways. He was on that play then. Managed to put a little bit of a shoulder in, but nothing very effectual.
Look how wet that middle of the field is. Mitch Bessie handling the place kicking duties now. And it's bobbled. Jem McDonald will just fall on it. Not taking any chances, and I think looking for 6, and yes, Malloy is taking the field. I thought for a second maybe Tommy Kilo would be jumping in at quarterback, but...
No, it takes a car accident to keep Domo down. Probably a truck accident.
Well, it takes more than 4 defenders, apparently. Significant thank you to Jamie O'Connor, who gave us a shout out there. Great calling for both of us and wishing us a safe drive home.
Jason Leon back in the defensive tackle position. Joel Maddock having a few plays off.
And that's been, there's so many of my notes I haven't been able to get through this game, but that has been the true strength of the Bayside Ravens here in 2020. Their depth. You look at some of their second stringers. On our sheet here, those bolded are the started, but you'll just go through the people who aren't bold. When you have Joel Maddock rolling in your second line of defensive linemen, you know you're doing something right. Calvin Young sitting in the second rotation, the second string of defensive backs.
Yep.
Johnny Nico, experienced Johnny Nico sitting in the linebacker rotation opposed to starting.
They
quick announcement there for the substitution.
that's the place you want it. Your defensive line, you got the luxury of being able to rotate good ballers in and out of that position. It's a heck of a luxury.
And it has been fascinating. I got to meet up with some of the coaches there, and they talked about, for once, they truly got to go with the logic of playing those who came to practice. Mitch Bessie missed a couple of practices. Bones got the start. No one was immune to it.
Yep.
Pete Brewer didn't start himself till well and truly in the middle of the season because couldn't justify it. They've had the luxury of having such quality number 2s as Damien and Malloy clearly has found a bit more.
He's just decided to start knocking people out of the way.
And this is why Malloy, he has a reputation but has garnered the respect of anyone who plays against him.
Oh, look, he's single-handedly kept the Stingrays in this game. I mean, he's had some good support. His offensive line have tried really hard. They've done a good job. But as I said, when the Ravens is rotating the players they've got and the quality they've got, it makes it very difficult. And Damo looking to run.
And here he goes again. Ball comes out this time though, and the Ravens look to recover. I think that's Jack Capewell getting there first. It is Jack Capewell coming up with the hit and the ball. Oh no, check that. I think it was actually the 27. Johnny Nico, we were just talking about him, and this is the luxury of having veterans in your rotation.
They very often know exactly the right place to be.
And that's Jack Capewell, who, I'm assuming, and it seems very much so, the Ravens hold on here, will become the winningest, quote-unquote, Raven in their history, I believe. He'll have 2 at the senior level, 1 at the junior level back in 2013, putting him at 3 titles, which means he's...
certainly not used to it yet.
Yeah, no, as a player, will be the most titled player in the Ravens roster.
Stingrays with 12 players on the field at the moment. Let's see if the referees pick that up, or the officials pick that up.
And,
Dario.
big block. Notice he's a jersey change. I was worrying that is a Darius number, but just or is that Christian Garrett, who's listed as cornerback on my roster? But it does look like Darius.
Runs like Darius.
Just trying to look at the tattoos. And it sounds like the jersey got torn. That's what it is. Darius Miller and his.
There's still 12 Stingrays on the field.
Definitely Darius.
There's still 12 on the field. So
We've obviously decided that
10, 11, 12. There are 12 Stingrays
make
on
it
the
a
field.
little bit easier for the Stingrays.
And the officials, well, they don't seem to see them. Let's see if the officials notice it before the start of this next play. Let's see if the Ravens as a flex can score against 12 Rays. Flags still aren't down in the field. 12 seems to be enough.
There's still no flag. Whose job is it to count the players?
One, you at home, you guys, obviously I don't have a telestrator to count for you, but count yourselves.
There's 12.
We count 12. How many do you count?
This could be. It's pick-up football. I mean, if you've got an extra guy, you don't want him to sit on the sideline and just twiddle his thumbs. Come on, have a run. I'm just. Whose job is it to count the numbers? I thought it was the back judge.
There we go. Jim Wilson, bodies down, jumping out. They had a couple of free plays with 12 men there. I don't think they're going to complain about
Stingrays
that.
have been
Second
self-regulating. It's good to see.
And now I think everyone's just, they've got one down lineman, everyone else standing up at the line of scrimmage. I think we've just got engaged 8 coming, and that is the case. Holiday Miller will have nowhere to go. Where was this part of the game plan?
This is the first time we've seen actual penetration from the Stingrays D, front D. I think we might see some kind of pitch coming up. Get someone outside quickly. Well, I'd put a lazy $10 on Jared going to the air on this play. He'd be looking to get into the end zone with the ball.
Tell you what.
Bessie, Bones.
Tell you what, I'll take you up on that, Justin.
By my knowledge of Darius's conservatism suggests maybe they'll just keep it on the ground.
Third down now.
Yeah.
Holiday Miller will keep it. Oh,
Nice
a big
hit.
shot there, but Holiday Miller's still moving forward, or at least laterally. That'll bring up 4th down. I'll see if they send on the field goal unit.
It's an interesting dynamic, the Ravens backfield. I mean, Jared, basically did things his way for quite a few years with the Bears. And now he's in the backfield with Darius calling the plays and I guess calling the shots and saying what he wants to happen. It's just been an interesting dynamic, but certainly Jared has matured a lot with his overseas stints at quarterback, and his GQ's Rihanna, Liam Edwards with his umbrella.
You might have missed half that conversation. Liam Reeves is heading down to the sideline now and trying to see if he can get some more insight as the game comes close to a close. Of course, he'll be running the post-game presentation like he's been doing all day. Wonderfully.
Here he comes. All of GQ land will be hoping for a few dance steps. Let's hope he doesn't fall. Don't slip, don't slip.
Too nicely to be fallen. There he is, look at him, committed to the job. Committed to the job is Liam Reeves, and you'll see us through the end of the game. In the meantime, the Ravens on 4th and 17, or 4th and goal I should say, from the 17. Looks like they're just going to send their offense back in and try to score one more time. Successful PAT following a score will get him to that 50 burger. Stegman alone in the backfield now. Chris Clark, pop pass, spins out of the first tackle. Will run up the back. One of his defenders, a stiff arm in place now. More blockers in front. Chris Clark will get stopped a couple of yards short. Stopped inside the 5, maybe even inside the 3. And Damien Malloy is at the bottom of that pile, and he is down.
It's like Damien making the stop, yeah.
Damien making the touchdown saving tackle there.
And he's suffering for it. But again, I just think it's more exhaustion than actual physical injury.
It looks like we might be going to the sideline with Liam Reeves.
Hey Sam, you want to jump on the comms real quick? Yeah, mate.
Malloy is down. We might take this opportunity to go to the Ravens sideline when Liam Reeves is ready. And Malloy has been such a trooper, such a warrior. Down to Liam. Down to Liam Reeves on the sideline.
You might have to hold off on that one. They've refused to talk to me until the game's over, so it speaks to the competitive nature of the Ravens.
They're all business, the Bayside Ravens. Don't blame them at all.
The Ravens all very focused on maintaining their 25-point lead.
And I don't think Paul Mills is always used to hanging around the mentality of some of these gridiron players and understanding when business time is on.
That actually forced a turnover, that tackle from Malloy on that play. I didn't realise.
Yeah, it was 4th down. It was a 4th
First
down
and
stop.
10. It must have been very close to the first down. Or was it
goal.
first and goal?
It was first and goal from the
goal,
17.
okay. Yeah.
First down and 10 here for the Gold Coast Stingrays. There'll be a direct snap to Jem McDonald. He'll try
Risking
his
a
best.
safety.
And it's starting to get a little chippy down on the sideline.
That's a huge game.
Been a huge. Now, from the shadow of their own goalpost, 2nd and goal, Gold Coast Stingrays. That Damo continuing to persist and putting the team on his back. Still grabbing positive yardage.
Clock is winding down. This will be the Stingrays, probably the last play if they get it off. They should get it off.
And they will get the opportunity to be the last team in possession here.
43-18, the Ravens will be disappointed with that scoreline, I think. I mean, they came into this game expecting to win and expecting not just to win, but to win big.
Well, I think most people would still consider 43-18 a pretty big victory.
It is, but I just think they would have expected more.
Credit to the post-game ability of the Gold Coast Stingrays.
They would have been hoping to invoke the mercy rule. That would have been their first target, and from there put on 60 plus. But in saying that, great win by the Ravens. They've come.
Some veteran camaraderie there at the end there from Jason Leon and Damien Malloy, but this game is as good as done. 4 seconds left.
The Ravens have been the team to beat all season. They've dominated the regular season, so to come in here and get the job done on Sunbowl Day is a testimony to the way they've played their whole season, and they've done it convincingly.
The Stingrays are going to go into the package that won them the Sunbowl last time these two teams met, and just like that, as we see some guys getting into some unnecessary action there on the Stingrays sideline. I'm just going to call it there. Just you want a Sunbowl walk.
Johnny Nico trying to get some extracurricular activity.
And there it is. The ball is raised. The score is 43-8 to the Bayside Ravens. The Bayside Ravens, the first team not named the Gold Coast Stingrays since the Ipswich Cougars to go back-to-back in the men's division. They exercised some demons there. They had a couple of personal losses against the Gold Coast Stingrays in this very stage, and they have an opportunity to ease some of that burn now with back-to-back titles. We're going to head down to Liam Reeves on the sideline, who has the Ravens first hand.
Perfect. No dramas. Alrighty, absolute scenes down here. As you can see, the elation of the defending champs and two-time champs now, 2 in a row. Bayside Ravens. What's up, Chris? As you can tell, moods are high. Everyone's loving it. 2 in a row. Well earned with the season they've had. Practically a perfect season for them. You know, no losses. They had the first game with the Rays obviously got cancelled due to weather. And we're a bit worried up there in the booth, thinking that might happen again here. But I'll get closer to him here so you can hear some of the elation and the excitement. Especially getting both the teams here obviously going to shake hands. We'll get amongst it. But I'm also not trying to photobomb here. See Nicky's. Hey, I'll cut through the boys.
Go through the boys. There you go.
There we go. I've done it. See? Oh, stop it. I'm being flirted with on the field, which is always good. It's turning the fashions on the field. I feel like it's a race day. Yeah. So there's a lot of disappointment on the Stingrays' face. Obviously, they've battled their hearts out. It's a really tough game at the start. I can do that. Perfect. And we'll, so once this gets rolling, we'll no doubt get into the post-game presentation. So.
Do this one first.